Oh, my microphone's still connected. Anyways, this is like kind of impromptu. I don't have much written down. I I have a shit ton of notes, but I mean, I don't have anything I want to share on this live. Just like really interesting to me. I don't know how to say it, processing everything going on, the way people react to everything going on. And it was already apparent, like the divide and conquer tactics are working really well. People cling to one side or the other. And I made this video recently about the daycare fraud in Minnesota, and I absolutely believe there's daycare fraud in Minnesota, but it's like because I didn't say everything that certain people wanted me to say, like people are like, "You're crazy, lady. You're crazy for thinking there's no fraud." Like, how could you get that from my video? I understand if you don't want to watch a whole video. Most people don't. That's fine. But to not say what's really going on at all. And I know there could be bots, but just obviously people who are angry at the fact that like brought up why did he have to say George Floyd? I'm talking about, oh my gosh, I already forget his name, Nick Shirley, in his video that went viral. That was like 9 days ago, where he was in Minneapolis, right? I think it was Minneapolis. Oh gosh, I might be remembering the city wrong. He was in Minnesota. And at one point, he's like, "We're going to George Floyd's neighborhood." And like, I just think that this is part of the divide and conquer. And like, you play into it when you say unnecessary stuff like that. And then some people say, "Well, aren't you doing it by like calling people out like this?" I'm just getting to the point where like, and if you really do support Trump and you're not, so, I mean, I'm sorry, I just no, I am, I'm to that point. I don't understand how you could still support Trump. How could you still support Trump with everything that he's done? Like, is anything good outweighed all the other shit? And like how we're so close to getting the Epstein files and or seemingly, and now all of a sudden World War III is starting, in my opinion. He said he wouldn't start any more wars like this. Why? I just don't see how people don't see it for what it is. And then the George Floyd shit has got to stop. If you are a member or a subscriber on my channel and you think George Floyd died from a fentanyl overdose, can you please unsubscribe? I mean that. I'm sorry. It's just like so nonsensical. I just had somebody going off on me. No, I don't do Botox, some guy. I really don't. On my own channel, on my own video, and that was the whole point of why I made my video, and I titled it "The Way the Right Investigates Fraud." I've said it a million fucking times. I lean towards the right. I'm a registered independent for 20 years now, since I was 18 years old. I lean towards the right. I'm going to quit saying that from this day forward. You will never hear me say it again. And hold me accountable if I do. Say, remember, you said you weren't ever going to say that again. Because I don't want to be anywhere close to these people. I feel like the people that support Trump steadfastly right now, they're the ones with Trump derangement syndrome, because you have to be fucking deranged to not, it's okay to not be political and not get into it and be like whatever, like that's fine with me. I know there's people like that, people I love that are like that. I'm not saying you have to choose a side or you have to hate Trump. I don't want to sound like that either, but I don't understand how people oh, thank you, Justins. That's the first. Oh, hi, Tim, how are you? Well, I just was in a comment section. I had a members only live, like I do every Monday night, and I get off and I have like 5 notifications from somebody who's jumping down my throat telling me they're so disappointed in me and that George Floyd died from a fentanyl overdose. You could see the pill in a picture in his mouth. I'm like, are you fucking crazy? I'm sorry. I've never talked to somebody like this. It was a subscriber of mine that had supported me so much. It's somebody that supported me a lot. He's bought lots of memberships. If you think George Floyd died from a fucking fentanyl overdose, unsubscribe from me. I'm sorry. If you really, really do believe that, or you have to be racist. I just don't want to have anything to do. I'm sick of racist fucking people. Now, my whole life in Florida and California and Indiana, when I told somebody I was from Kentucky, people had something to say about it. It really, there's like the nicest people here. People aren't like, they don't care about the same shit here. And I know on a day-to-day basis, most people live in communities where they're not fighting about the same stuff that we fight about online, right? Hopefully, but like there's somebody telling George Floyd died from a fentanyl overdose, and there's even proof of it. The pill is sticking out of his mouth and some footage or a picture, something like, and they're telling me I need to research. I'm sorry, obviously this person isn't right. Like you're telling me I need to do more research, and because I said I called Nick Shirley out for saying, why did he have to say this is George Floyd's neighborhood though? Why? It's like a dog whistle for, like, other fucking racists, other people that wanna harp on the same thing, and, like, what does it make you feel if it makes you feel good saying that George Floyd died from a fentanyl overdose? What do you get out of that besides just being a fucking racist? Like, what good does that do anybody or anything? I'm just, like, trying to get it, and it's people like that, like, I can't lean towards the right anymore. I can no longer say I lean towards the right because they're both insanity. They're all the same. And for people not to see what's going on and what's going on with Venezuela, Trump's going to help a whole other country of people, but like he can't even help us here. Our healthcare, people are going without healthcare because the premiums doubled and tripled and even more, five, six times some cases. There's so much going on. And like, and then we're like cheering for Venezuela. I'm sorry. No, no. My grandma immigrated here from Colombia the whole 90s. She had family going missing during the guerrilla warfare. Nobody was ever like, the US needs to step in and help Colombia. I guess they didn't have enough oil reserves, and I'm glad that they didn't in a way, but it's just like it's fucking scary. It's wrong. Why don't people understand? They've needed help for a long time now. Why did we just decide the beginning of this year to do it? It's like they like to do stuff around the holidays. My opinion, it is the start of World War III. And like the people that are playing into the divide and conquer, and you are like so stuck up Trump's ass. And so you're part of the problem. And you're becoming the snowflakes that you often criticized the left for being in the last several years, and they couldn't handle anybody having a differing opinion other than their own. I said in this video, I made fun of the lady that was shouting ice, and I said that was wrong and ridiculous for anybody to be shouting ice the way that that woman was. Like, clearly, I'm not like, "So, um, he died from a boot on the neck. It's been known for half a decade." Yeah, James, I've had a few every time it gets brought up, there's somebody that tries to tell me that George Floyd died from a fentanyl overdose, and I just it's like, um you probably should get your emotions in check that while that what Trump did in Venezuela was bad, it needed to be done years ago. Yeah, Mitch Ellis, there's a lot of things that need to be taken care of, and I don't think it's for us. Why do I need to get my emotions in check? Because I'm talking. See, if a man was talking like this, would you tell him to get his emotions in check? What about the way that I'm talking? My face isn't red. I'm not spitting. I'm not, well, I might have cussed a little. I'm not like really raising my voice. I talk. I am so fucking sick of that attitude, that manic, you need to calm down type shit. It would be so boring if I was sitting here talking to you. And this is how I used to do YouTube videos. Honestly, when I started doing YouTube, I literally was like a robot. You can ask my husband. That's no fun. And like, oh, you need to calm down. Like you really think you're going to have some kind of control over any woman, especially a woman you don't know in real life, especially when you tell her something like that on the internet. It's a fucking joke. And I don't know why anybody tries to do that other than you don't have a fucking life. Like you believe in January 6th winning 2020. I don't get the winning 2020 mad rush. I'm sorry, I don't understand that. Well, Nick Shirley is part of the Little Hats. Fendi, that makes sense. The way the story went viral, and like I made a point, there's YouTube videos, 2013, they found out about this. They knew about this since 2013. And then people are like, why does that matter? Why does that matter? It might not matter to you, and that's fine. I'm not saying it has to matter to you, but to me, that's interesting. And it shows that the corruption is even worse and it goes even deeper. And there's more people implicated in it, right? But for some reason, that doesn't matter to some people because all they hear is Somalis. And like, I get it. It does seem to be an awful lot of Somalis that they can part. Like, I do understand it seems to be a problem. But like the way that they do that with the groups of people, and it's like like it was like gay people and transgenders for a little while, and I get there was like real issues to hash out there, but like now, are you asking me Joe Biden or Trump? I think they're all the same. Hi, TWC, how are you? It wasn't an autopsy. He was on fent, and it could have been a contributor. Sad he passed. I believe the cop had hate in his heart, but I don't think it was the cop's intention. Well, it was like a type of asphyxiation from his heart stopping, is what I read. So it's like they two different autopsies did not show it was a fentanyl overdose. It was speculated, wasn't it, by the people that did the autopsies, that it was the compression on his neck which caused whatever happened in his heart, and it was like some kind of asphyxiation cardiovascular event or something. No official report ever has ever said fentanyl was the cause of George Floyd's death. And all y'all that keep pushing that make everybody on the right look bad, okay? You're making people look more deranged. Trump derangement syndrome has now gone from the left and it is infecting the people that used to point the finger at the other people because you need to wake up and see like Trump is not here for us. He's not here for Venezuela. He doesn't give a shit about anybody. If Biden did half of the shit that Trump did, you all would be going on and on about it as you should. Like I couldn't imagine. Remember how Biden was going to start World War III? And I am not a fan of Biden. I wanted Trump to win all three times he ran. Okay. I am not a fan of Biden. But remember how everybody said he was going to start World War III with Russia? Remember that? It was he was going to do all those horrible things. And then what happens? All these horrible things once Trump gets into office. And like I've said for a long time, I think it's a controlled demolition. I don't think that Trump is this horrible, evil, fascist dictator. I do think that he was installed at the exact right time, but all people have hate in their heart. Unfortunately, it seems like most people like racism is just like prejudice, you bigoted against anything that's different than you. But like there's absolutely true racists and a lot of white supremacists, you know? I feel like that's why a lot of people say like only white people can be racist. I don't believe in that. Like I actually wrote a paper on that my freshman year in high school that I got like a bad grade on because she didn't agree with me. Like absolutely other people can be racist and people can be racist towards white people because once again racism is looking at somebody else and thinking anything differently about them because of the color of their skin, period. You know, it might even be like positive things. And just like automatically assume things like it might not seem as bad. You just like assume somebody is going to be a good basketball player because he's a tall black guy. I mean, you just like shouldn't assume anything about anybody and based on things that they can't help, especially. Oh, thank you, Michael. Easy. It's stupid that we all argue about this. The reality is that none of us actually know anything besides what the media shares. We do not have access to classified info. So who's really right? G Easy, I called you G Easy. I'm sorry, Easy. I like your perspective. And so yes, I do want to have more philosophical type videos soon about how like I feel like there are two different societies taking place. It's like the one online, you know, people don't act the same online as they do in real life, obviously, right? And a lot of us, we could do ourselves a lot of good by interacting more with our like extremely close in vicinity local communities instead of concentrating so much on the internet because that's what they want. And it's not natural to see all the horrible news. It's not natural to interact with so many different people like it as well. But I have fun getting on here and going live with you guys. And honestly, I just told somebody that's like been like in my lives a lot. I could tell you guys who it was, and you'd be like, oh, and like comment on my last video, tell me they're disappointed in me. They're disappointed in me because of the video I made on the healthcare, where I'm sure we have the same opinion that this is fraud. Tim Walz said that he was stepping down from his third bid of governor in Minnesota today. And then it just kills me how brainwashed people are. And I posted the video because it was like halfway through. Chris Norland, this Vietnamese guy that lives in Korea with his wife. He's left leaning. I really like it. I watch almost every one of his videos. And then right after I posted it, he's like, I think Tim Walz is a good guy. Like, are you kidding me? This is why such blatant corruption can happen because they've divided and conquered us so much so there's no real majority because people are so fucking divided into these two categories black, white, left, right, one or the other. And like you have to think that way and fall in line or else like you know you're not going to be part of the in crowd or else you're going to get shit on when you say anything differently. And I used to think the right was I think they were more even keel, honestly they were for a few years. I even remember people on the left being like yeah it's like but now it's like these cycles like the pendulum always swings the other way and like people on the right are getting like just as like okay so the people on the left being like Tim was a good man. Can you not see what's going on? He's fleeing. He should be in handcuffs going to jail. And you're going to say he is a good man when there's all this proof that this has been well known about. And it's like tons of money. If you didn't see Nick Shirley's video he came out with today with that David guy, I listened to it. I thought it was a good video. Once again, I don't put a lot of faith in anybody, especially the way that he got platform. Fendi said, Trump flakes. Vinny, he did die from an overdose. Oh my God. George Floyd didn't die from a fentanyl overdose. Go look it up. He's had 2 autopsy he had 2 autopsies done, and it was a type of cardiac event that resulted in some kind of, like, asphyxiation, or this asphyxiation made his heart stop. Um, the fact that and I know some people could be bots and some people could be trolls, okay? I'm not that gullible. But the fact that so many people, like, obviously people sincerely do believe this. Obviously a lot of people really do. And that is concerning. Um, um, I don't know, JK, Pelka. I don't like I lots of lives lately. They must be um on school break, have nothing to do, don't have they're extra bored. Focusing on that, but pretend the top isn't committing fraud at all, selective outrage. Right, because they want to be like in proximity to power. They want to act like one day they might be rich if they kiss the ass of every rich person that they know of. Like that's why people still worship Elon Musk. That's another thing. If you worship Elon Musk, I'm sorry, I shouldn't say this. Unsubscribe from me. It's fine. Like I know everybody, but like the Epstein stuff, like, if that wasn't obvious what's going on, like, it's so obvious, and I am one person that, like, I didn't see it for what it was either. I really did think, "Well, like, yeah, Trump said that grab him by the you know what thing," but, like, once again, he's an honest a-hole. He just says it how it is, and isn't that better than another lying politician? I really didn't think, and, like, one thing, like, he did have all of his children in wedlock, and, like, for the most part, his children seem to be decent people, and I did judge him by that. I did think that was a good thing, you know what I mean? But I don't know everybody behind closed doors. I'm just saying his kids aren't like falling out of limos naked or anything, you know? And it seemed like he was there for his kids. And so I thought that showed good character. But now that I know everything that I know, it's like it really is disgusting. I don't know how much everybody has listened to, but I didn't pay that much attention. And now I've listened to everything going like 10 years back. There's this really good 4chan thread. It's like 4 years old, the video here on YouTube. It's supposedly a former Jeffrey Epstein employee. And they're spilling the beans about all kinds of stuff and celebrities. And a lot of the stuff that they have said did get proven with these recent leaks. Not all of it, but that would be a really interesting video for somebody to put together. And they made some pretty damning claims to about certain celebrities. And I just don't think most of us really get it. Okay, I said this to my husband. I'm sorry, I'm not in the chat that much. A lot of it does have to do with the trolls, honestly. When I go to read and like half of it is bullshit, and I just like give up. Chrissy Teigen. She is a fucking pervert. I'm not even gonna say supposedly, allegedly. If you guys haven't seen the kind of things she used to tweet, this woman is disgusting. One of the things she tweeted was like, seeing little girls do the splits, put me in jail right now. And it's like, I, like, can't I literally that's like hearing the robot babble that I was talking about. It's like all these different words mumbled together that make absolutely no sense. None of it goes with the other. And like it literally is like static in my head when I try to think about why a grown woman would say that. But like there's obviously lots of people out there that are fucking pedophiles. There are. And not trolls, normal people telling you the truth. Like, Trump, you look like you have the body of a 10-year-old. Okay. Fubar, I'm sure my body is literally 10 times hotter than yours. I just know it because if you were a good-looking person, you wouldn't be saying stuff like that to other people. I'm in my pajamas. Um, I bet you she doesn't shave her armpits. Are you talking about me? No, I shave. I like that you're thinking for yourself. Good job. Oh, thank you, Michael. Yes, that is what everybody should be doing. And that is I welcome everybody to my channel as long as you're respectful, you know? As long as when I say something you don't agree with, you're not going to tell me, I'm so disappointed in you and write 5 comments berating me and then put some straight out lie. Like George Floyd had a pill in his mouth and that was visible and he died from a fentanyl overdose. No, I refuse to have that kind of crap, like even on my channel. And I told him, you stay off of my channel or I'm going to block you. So I'm glad they haven't shown up in the live tonight. Um, it's like to me just saying, "Isn't that suspicious that this has been known about since at least 2013? Like, why are they picking up on this now? It's some kind of distraction." I'm sorry, I think that about literally every event that gets put in front of our face. Every single major event. Is this a distraction? And I'm sorry if you don't think that by now, like, it would be smart to at least consider it. Like, it's not that it isn't a big deal, but it is that maybe something else is even a bigger deal that they don't want you to know about. And that's why they keep putting, a few things, whatever, in front of your face. And here's the truth. I am not on drugs, no, Jacob. It's like the same stuff over and over. And I let you guys say the same stuff over and over because it's how I don't know how many views I've gotten on this live, but I can tell by the numbers. I've literally never had so many people in my live at once tonight. And it's because of a lot of you trolls. So thanks for that. You do help. Um, no, I'm never going to insult you, but I'm never going to feel obligated to agree. Sometimes we'll agree, sometimes not. That's awesome, Easy. We need people like I don't want people who only think like me. I don't mean to sound like that. And I know I did sound like that when I said like if you're just like gonna like stick your feet 10 toes down for Trump right now with like everything and not at least understand why some people aren't and are disappointed in him. I just don't want to have anything to do with that kind of derangement. That's all. Oh God, you don't, please don't send any more memberships, okay? I really, like, I'm gonna end this live if you don't stop. Or if you could comment, I could just block you then. Um, I have been married for 16 years this month. So we're getting ready to go on our anniversary dinner in Louisville. I'll let you guys know about it after the fact. But yeah, I've been married. I've been with the same man since I was 18 years old. And I mean, like, I've always been honest. And I feel like I always have to say this, or somebody might be like, "You said you separated." We did separate a few times, but we never got divorced. But 16 years, I don't wanna say exactly one date, but in January. Thank you. And I make content about all sorts of shit. Like, I really am into politics, but I'm mostly into gardening. And, like, what we need to do now, oh my gosh, they're, like, doing this zoning shit with farms, making this, now I need to read what I wrote. I'm sorry, I took notes earlier. It just environmental justice is what they a farmer will go for a permit. Let's say he wants to add a processing building, and this was on Yanasa TV. This is the kind of stuff that I'm passionate about. It matters. You guys don't realize how much it matters until all of the farms have disappeared and they're making us eat crickets and lab grown meat from fucking Bill Gates that costs twice as much and tastes like nothing. Just like the like greenhouse tomatoes, like um they do this to farmers where they're trying to improve upon their farm and then they say no because there's like some minorities or low income people not even like adjacent to your farm just like nearby for whatever measures and metrics. Who does this? Like some environmental engineer city planner person gets to decide if a farmer can expand his farm. Like that is crazy. So Yanasa said it well. Look at me, I think he said it perfectly. This is a quote from him. "We're not protecting communities. We're dismantling food systems." That's fucking crazy. We live near tons of farms, lots of Amish. I like it that way. It's like there's a lack of opportunity here. Yeah, there's less to do, less opportunity, less jobs. There's all of that too. But with that comes like I am pretty happy, like, I don't feel like it's gonna be, like, overrun in these end times, you know what I mean? And, like, people will always have lots of cattle and, like, the butcher shop we go to has, like, a ton of deer, you know what I mean? It's where hunters take their deer to get processed, and some hunters, they just, like, don't want any of the meat, they just want, the antlers sometimes even. I don't smoke cigarettes, I do vape, though. Louisville Bobcat. I like to educate people that it is Louisville and not Louisville or Louisville. Is that why you're saying that, Bob? Thanks. Trip to 112. We had 2 breaks, and no, I did not cheat because I told him I was gonna date the guy, and we had a fucking divorce agreement. And yeah, I do regret that. but he was free to do what he wanted to do too. You guys keep saying that I'm gay just like everybody else, but I'm not. I feel like I've read that a few times. Is that a troll? I know, Patriot Watcher. I know. It does seem like child play. Like the same questions. I'm not going to answer if I'm high anymore. How many people can be talking just like "Blah, blah, blah," for like literally? I can't see because of my camera. I guess it's only been 25 minutes. I was on for an hour before this, and a members only live. Um, I know. I guess I don't know. Is people consider getting high taking stimulants? I don't know. I'm an old bitch. I care more about the cold and things haven't seemed to be better. I'm not happy with this admin. Here for the lulz. Yeah, it's so disappointing. So we can one thing I really want to focus on is like ways people can create a new future for ourselves. I feel like we like a lot like the Amish. If we and I don't want to live like the Amish, but we could take a lot of it, you know, take a few cues from them to live more like the Amish, have more communities where we're more self-sustainable and we just put as little of our money as possible into the system. Go debt free, encourage, like this might be seem impossible for you, but if you have children or children in your lives, tell them, like, please, you need to listen to me. The best thing you can ever do is like don't ever finance anything. And sometimes you might have to, but if you could make it a rule to try not to finance anything ever, like I am drilling this in my 16-year-old's head, drilling it. Uh, and it's tough, but like, renting, I just think it's so horrible. Like, I'm not saying my kid's always gonna live with us, but like um, alternative forms of living. If you do it right, even if you just get a plot of land, a dry cabin, we did it. We flipped 23 acres. All we did was put an off-grid cabin on it, shed conversion. I mean, I don't know why I said cabin. And we did make some money. I'm not saying that everybody could do that, but I'm just saying, like, even anything, any improvement upon the lands, and upon the land, it's possible to make money. Oh my gosh, if you add utilities, especially in here in Kentucky, where we're at, they're a lot more lax though when it comes to stuff like that. Of course, when you get a septic, you've got to get the permit. You have to have electricity also and it permitted and everything to get your septic. So like there is EPA. I don't know why I'm getting into this. EPA standards that we're supposed to go by. But honestly, between you and me, a lot of people don't go by that. They just don't. There's a lot of derelict housing situations going on. So yeah, I would love to go live with you on my channel. Think about it. Rose Quartz, if you're still in here, I need to look you up. If you don't mind leaving me a comment, I think I'll be able to look up your channel, but sometimes it's hard for me to find people's channels just with their screen name. Um, Trump is doing good. He went from saying he would decrease the cost of groceries to telling us we just need to suck it up and quantum chance. Chapman said, I am debt free. That's awesome, Chapman. If we could get, more people, like they don't even want to talk about that, but that's and I know that credit card debt is at an all-time high. It wasn't that long ago. They were like, our economy is doing great. There's a all-time high credit usage or something like that. Like, no, that just shows how horrible things are that people are maxing out their credit cards. Epstein files coming soon. They were given a month's deadline, but not everything could be released in that time. Yeah, and they missed deadline after deadline. I think they've missed 2 or 3 at this point. I might be wrong. Um, oh, lone wolf. Are you talking about being off grid? Well, we had solar panels. Um, no, there's no mods on here right now. How the fuck is Trump during the system for Trump supporters? What the fuck is this code now? Well, Sleazy Mac, I don't know if you have ever been on YouTube, but I do try to make my titles, as catchy as possible. But at the moment, that is how I feel. I've been like had people jump down my throat, and they're all right leaning, and I was right leaning myself. And I'm starting to be like, wow, they're becoming the snowflakes that they all called like other people on the left for being so emotional, for getting into stress over anybody thinking anything differently than them. And like the things that Trump has done, it's like thing after thing. The US farm aid, where that affected our farmers as well as like poor people all over the world. and he said he was gonna, like, stop he wasn't gonna get into any more forever wars, and, like, here we are. It's just thing after thing. Trump did some regulations this first term. Trump's one of the reasons I moved from that town in southern Indiana. It was mostly the immigrants, but one big reason was for the first time since I was 8 years old, they started to let trains stop on the train tracks. Huge trains literally stop, and you're at a stoplight for 20 to 30, sometimes over 30 minutes because trains were allowed to stop and, like, I guess, unload or pick up or something. And like they never did that my whole life. I like stupid shit like that. That's like, he's not like for us now. He's like definitely like his CEO billionaire friend standing before him when he was inaugurated. I'm sorry, Fendi, if you're still in here. Fendi said, "Hey, lady, did you hear about the no taxes movement for this year?" Yes, I did, Fendi. And that kind of stuff gives me hope, honestly. It's like what even just some like 30% of us, I don't know the exact numbers, but it's not about getting all people to participate, but yeah, we need to get that's what they wanna divide and conquer us for, so we don't get to get like, boycott things, and granted, I'm playing into it too when I make titles like this. I get that, I do get that. I just feel like I'm never gonna have a huge channel. I'm never gonna be as big as somebody that is, like, very right-leaning or very left-leaning. I know I'm not, but at the same time, I'd rather be genuine and meet people that are, like once again, you don't have to think exactly like me, but, like, kind of on the same path in some way, you know? Plenty of people that, like, converse with me on a regular basis in my live chats don't agree with everything I say. And I respect them more for that. I have more respect for somebody that's like, I don't agree with you, but yeah, I hear you. Than somebody that's like, oh my God, I'm so disappointed in you. You didn't know this. Shame on you. Then it's like, what? Like, we're all grown adults. Like, how do you go through life thinking that that ever is going to work on anybody for anything? Um, James, like I said, I was separated for 13 months. We had a divorce agreement written up. We were really close to being divorced, but yeah, I wouldn't recommend it. Um, Acid burn. That doesn't mean he died from fentanyl. Oh my God, that was my dog. What are you doing? Um, and like, since you're in here, acid burn, lurking, I really don't appreciate you jumping down my throat, leaving multiple comments like that. I get off a members only live where you could have came into the members only live and like said something to me if you wanted to, which is fine you didn't, but still like to like comment after comment after comment. I'm going to play the autism card. I have a severely autistic child I deal with all day long. I'm not going to deal with like somebody on a regular basis. That's like the kind of shit I'm going to like not consider. Once somebody said "fuck you" to me, I block her. I can tell when it's her and another screen name. I can just tell who this person, like, block them. Once you do something like that to me, I just block you and move on. Like, I just it's my dog. This is my boy dog. His name is Rocco, for anybody that doesn't know. Trump is a big supporter of train stopping, proving astrology. I don't know why that's so funny. Um I'm really disappointed in Trump, but I really do think that they're both sides, two sides of the same coin. Like, I don't like any politician. I thought Trump would be different because he wasn't a career politician. I did have faith that he would be different and that he would drain the swamp. He obviously hasn't and he won't. He's not going to. I lost most of my faith for him when he became a pharma sales representative during his last term, but I still wanted him to win over Kamala. I will admit that. I still don't think things would be so much better if Kamala was in office because they're not the ones who run the government. Our politicians don't operate the government. It's the corporations that lobby them, and obviously other governments from other countries that we shall not say because they make rules over saying anything at all about them. Like, that's who runs the government. So I don't even like I don't take any of this as seriously as most of you that are like trying to convince me that Trump's good. You know what I mean? And I don't mean that like I'm so much smarter than you. I mean, I'm disillusioned with it. I've already been through it and processed it. And I see more people are like, I've seen more comments like, oh, I'm so disappointed in Trump. He's just like Bush. He's just like Obama. It's just like disappointment after disappointment after disappointment, you know? Why even talk about Trump? He's got this. He can't do worse than Biden. Rose quartz. That is true, rose quartz. I just don't I think that things were already toppling down, and this is like controlled demolition. And a lot of people are like, "Why is he doing this or that?" And like, well, that was probably like a dying thing, anyways. But then there's certain things that I just can't get past. If Trump banned cigarettes, his haters would grow tobacco. Like when they said that thing about Tylenol and people started taking it while pregnant, even the company Tylenol says you shouldn't take it while you're pregnant. That is pretty crazy. And on that's what I'm saying. I'm seeing more of that behavior coming from people who support Trump when it wasn't like that for years. And then it's like, I think it's a coping mechanism because they know things are only getting worse. Things aren't getting any better. Gas isn't any cheaper. Food isn't any cheaper. Health care isn't any cheaper. That's like getting very expensive. And I know it's from the, um, you know, those things expiring. Damn, y'all can't keep Trump's dick out of y'all mouth half. And I was asleep when I posted 10 minutes ago before I found you on. I can't do this right now. Get out of my face. Good. Well, I just I do a lot of research. My video, everything I put in my video was researched and planned. And you're like, do you do any research and all this? And that's like, I'm not in the mood. I don't care how many memberships you gift. I know I sound like a bitch. I really don't care. I don't care. You don't have some kind of power over me and my channel. No paw, no paw, because you do that a lot, you know? And I do appreciate it, but when it comes to like how I'm going to react to you saying shit like that on my video that I spent hours on because I didn't pat the ass of every Trump supporter, right-leaning Republican person, because I will call shit out. Like, why did Nick Shirley have to say, we're going to George Floyd's neighborhood? Why did he? Can you answer me that, Acid Bird? Thank you for sending that 100, Anthony. I appreciate it. Why did he have to say, "This is George Floyd's neighborhood," other than like, "Hey, let's, all take a moment to laugh," and like, I just it's I remember the kids that would debate politics in class, they were a little stuck up, and it's like this, like, we're in the same club mentality type thing, like, there's no need for that, absolutely none. You're already talking about a particular group of people that happen to be Black too, it's just all so dumb. I'm so sick of the racism. I can't help but think you are racist, acid burn. You're gonna like insist George Floyd died from a fentanyl overdose. I'm going to assume you are a racist person. I don't know how else to figure that out. I don't know why it's one of your goals in life to insist that somebody who had his fucking neck, like a cop with his knee on his neck. And I get it. He had drugs in his system. Like, I get it. Rocco gets it. That doesn't mean that that cop didn't cause his heart to stop and like asphyxiate him. And it wasn't shown in two autopsy reports. So, I've said it plenty of times before. I made a live about how the white only towns I'm completely against. I don't care how many Black people say they're okay with the white only towns. I'm completely against that shit. Not in America. No, I don't want to be in a state that has a white only town. No, I don't think that shit would fly in Kentucky. I really don't. I really don't. I don't think a lot of the shit would fly in Kentucky. I don't think they would let billions of dollars of fraud happen in Kentucky. They wouldn't. We don't have probably as many resources as Minnesota. And that's one reason I chose to live here and I just feel better here. And our property taxes don't increase like 10% a year because, yeah, there's not a lot going on, you know? And sometimes that's a good thing. Sometimes the is. Better than living somewhere like that where, oh my God, I worked with a lot of people, a lot of Haitians when I lived in South Florida. They're great people. I know they're not all the same, but like overall, they were like some of the best people I've ever worked with. Some of the most joyous, just hardworking, like the sweetest, best people. And when that Haitian eating the cat's dogs thing, I was like, that was fucking ridiculous. Come on. Of all the things we could say about the resource when immigrants come into town, the resources they take, the strain on the school system, how people can't find rentals. Like, there's so much to say about when immigrants come to a town the way that they do, and nobody talks about it because we're all too good. Because most of us are too good, and most of us aren't fucking racist. And then we're at fear of sounding like we're racist if you say what is literally happening. And like, but you're gonna talk about how they eat cats and dogs? Like, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I don't see how I Thank you, Anthony, for the 100 again. I really appreciate it. Keep digging deeper. You're sounding ignorant and you don't even realize. Okay, LGD, well, you don't have to be here. Only racist I see here is her. Okay, Matt. Like, how is anything I just said being racist? There's nothing wrong with eating animals that are culturally normal to eat. Right, Joe. But if Haitians are eating cats and dogs, it's probably from all the shit their country's been through. I don't think it's like a cultural norm or something. I never heard of that before. They certainly weren't eating cats in Miami and Fort Lauderdale. If people want to live in those exclusive communities, and let them do it. If you don't like people like that, that's the best way not to deal with them. LTWW, I think a lot of people feel like me. I don't want them anywhere near me. I don't think that there's any land in America that should be, this is for one, and it wasn't just white. You had to be straight. I think you had to be Christian. No, that's not America, okay? Like, I'm sorry, if you don't understand the concept of like this country, anybody's supposed to be able to have like the same opportunities, and like you're gonna make some land literally unable for gay, not white people. That is fucking retarded. I'm sorry I said it. If you're a good boy, I just don't need you on my tripod. You're on my tripod. I can't move him. I'm sorry. I don't like using that word, but it's literally retarding progress because we stopped segregation. We desegregated, and you are allowed to go do whatever the fuck you want. If you really want to be, go get 20 acres and live in the middle of it. You don't have to worry about shit. I don't understand that. Like a lot of it, I love having space. I could never go back to being closer than an acre to three away from the next neighbor ever. Like I really do feel bad for people that want more land and don't have it. And I feel like that's part of what makes Kentuckians, like the way we live, the people around here in general, happier. Like we don't tend to have more monetarily than most people, but just having more land, having more space around you. Like people need their own space most of the time. You know, not everybody wants to live like that. And some people don't want a bunch of, land to take care of. Corruption rules this earth. I try and keep my friends safe and happy. It's all I can do. That's so nice, Donnie. If you're still in here, I love that comment. That's what we should all be doing, right? They keep cats and dogs in bulk just because they eat them in Haiti and in America, Peter said. Well, it's funny. I never heard that before or since. Thank you for saying that, Caleb Schultz. You're not racist. You're being real. I know I don't have a racist cell in my body, and it's just people trying to get, some I'm sitting here saying like I called out that woman that called the little black boy names that raised $1 million. I'm glad she's going to jail. That was fucking ridiculous. Over like a pouch of applesauce. Seriously, she was talking about her boys' things. It was like a pouch of applesauce. That lady is fucking crazy. And I didn't think that was an incident where I'm like, people on the left are right when they say Trump's inciting racism. I didn't believe that. And I can admit when I come to terms with it, when I realize something, when I was wrong about something, and I'm like, okay, like they're right. Because I think I used to think most racist people were like his age and they're dying out, you know? I didn't think there was as many racist people that were like around my age. And then I realized, I did get, and like, look how white I am. I did get made fun of for having dark hair. So like I know it's like way, 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 way harder for somebody to be a minority, an actual minority. It's absolutely true. They weren't eating them, they were sacrificing them in spiritual rituals. Matthew, they were caught on video. They do eat cats and dogs. You have Google. Why are you so simple? They were caught on video eating the cats and dogs. Well, why are you so simple that you can't understand my point? There's immigrations. I moved from a town in southern Indiana, and I've talked about how the schools were strained. 50% of the kids there didn't speak English. Have you ever heard anybody else talk about how there's towns where 50% of the kids attending the schools there don't speak English? I've never heard anybody else say that, and I know I'm not the only one. I don't watch everybody, but I'm just saying I'm talking about issues that really matter aren't getting talked about, but you're gonna go on and on and on about, like, the cats and the dogs, and then, like, completely drop the subject and nothing. So why hasn't anything happened about it? I know that there was a lot of people making accusations. I saw that, but no, I did not see a video of Haitians eating cats, no. But then again, honestly, I wouldn't. probably be on a site that would have that. I video of Haitian cooking cat on barbecue. People have reported their pets being stolen from Haitians. Yes, Anthony, I saw that, people reporting it. But my point is there's so much more to be said about when these people immigrate and take over entire towns, entire communities, and change. Nobody would want that. And like wherever they live, they wouldn't want people from another country coming over in a matter of years and changing the demographics and taking the resources either. Easy said, I've worked in Haiti in the military. They absolutely eat cats and dogs. It's extremely poor there. They also use them for religious reasons. Okay, thank you for saying that, Easy. The nuances of mass immigration or mass illegal immigration are hard to say, and saying to eat cats and dogs is easy and lets people let their feelings out with a laugh, not an excuse, but it's why, James said. Yeah, like it's just a easier topic to talk about. Is that what you're saying? I get that. I mean, less nuance and resources and rentals and everything. Kentucky were the best people I ever met, predominantly white. Said, monkey business. America was built upon a European social framework, the same that developed the first world countries of Europe. It's when you try to pry our culture away from that, it begins to break down. Yeah, monkey business. If you're still in here, study your enemies, know them as you do yourself, the caddy said. I I didn't know this term mosaic until recently, and apparently, we're a melting pot. And then there's countries like Canada that are like a mosaic, and that is when people immigrate and they don't assimilate. And that's what I feel like is happening. And that's just not America. That's what made us so special. Is like people came here and wanted to be American. And ever since I lived in Miami, I've always thought it was weird when somebody is like from, I just thought this was weird. I know I sound like a bitch. I'm sorry. But like, I'm sorry if you have a flag from if you make like your whole identity like the country you're from, but you live here, or like you're like very outspoken about the fact Puerto Rico. Like, okay, we get it. Um, it was so great. You know what I mean? I'm not saying you have to go back there. I'm just saying it was so great. Why are you here? Like, it's that kind of, like I saw that kind of more in South Florida, like the a little less assimilation, and it also went hand in hand with people there's more of them, they don't have to assimilate because they're going to a place where there's a ton of them. I could totally see a thing happening like it obviously is in Minnesota, where there's people from a certain country and then they've set up a fraud. Like these people, some of them are becoming millionaires, millionaires. And because people hate each other so badly on the right and the left, Tim Walz gets to walk away. Half the population still saying he's a good man when it's like obvious. But because you can't admit, I don't understand that. Like I can admit I used to like Trump. Now I hate his guts. Why is that so hard for people to be like, I had faith in this man and now I lost it? And I know I sound like you have to think like me. Now I'm doing it. Golden China had cats in cages in the woods behind the restaurant like 15 years ago in Canton, Massachusetts. Oh, Stone Papa Smurf. I've heard so much. Yeah, I mean, there's like this horrible thing in China. I forget where, but they definitely eat dogs and they even have this festival where they like torture them before they kill them. It's so horrible. And different it's just my whole life I was told like how blessed we were to be born now and like as a woman in this country and and that's not just I don't wanna call other countries shitholes like Trump or something, but, like, I saw this shorts, it was about autism therapy, and it's like when you think ABA therapy, which, like, is pretty much like training a dog, they'll even use clickers and stuff sometimes, and I'm sorry, it's not always, sometimes it's useful, but we never utilized it, and, like, if you think that that's well, a lot of people don't agree with it, if you think that's bad, like, this is the kind of stuff they do in other countries, and basically, they were being, like, forceful with the children, it was hard to watch, and so it's like, thank God, like, even what is considered to be, like, the least useful therapy here, you're not, like, forcing children to do things as they scream, and, yeah, I say all that, like, I'm very American, I'm very proud about, the country of America, and, like, a lot of people that talk, like, shit about colonialization and stuff, I think we're all here now for a reason, and, yeah, I think our forefathers are rolling over in their graves. So, what can we do to combat? Okay, peacefully. Peaceful anarchy. One of the best things you could do is be self sustainable. I'm trying to spend. no money. It's gonna be hard, but I'm trying to spend, like, literally no money on myself. I mean, like, which I don't a lot anyways. Most of my clothes are, like, clearance clothes, but I'm not even gonna buy anything on clearance. I have tons of clothes I'm gonna sew. I have a sewing machine. I have my sewing machine right here by me, and I'm gonna make content, and I'm gonna show you, like, I'm gonna alter some stuff. I wanna get better at taking what I have and, like, you know how it is, especially if you're a woman, even a man, I'm sure, but, like, you get clothes that's like, "I like this, but I don't like the way it fits." And it's like, and I just hate clothes. I hate buying clothes. All clothes are cheap garbage anymore. The synthetics, I want to thrift more and buy like natural materials, but I'm trying really hard to like go through what I have first. I'm going to do, I don't know if I should say no buy. I don't have a period because I got a hysterectomy, so I don't have to buy anything like that. Okay, I'm going to get right here in the chat, and if you to see, I'm sorry if you could repeat it. Just do a precursor test if they can't answer simple questions like why do we celebrate the 4th of July, then they can't vote. Donna, I don't know if I'm saying that right. That's I kind of yeah, I kind of do agree with that. Gosh. And I'm, pretty like libertarian. Like I believe in a smaller government if anything, but lately the older I get, I'm like, God, I think you should take a test before you're able to procreate anymore. I hate to say that. My dog knows more English than my autistic son, Mr. Tyler said. My dog knows more than my autistic son can say, probably. But he's saying more. He said, "Love you tonight." That was great. He's really exploded lately. Thank you, Jesus saves. That's nice. Jesus loves you and has a plan for your life. That's nice. ABA has some horror stories, Rose Quartz said. Yes, Rose Quartz. It's a shame they give certain, like when you get services, you'll get like 40 hours a week of ABA. I just don't get it. And then, like, I guess probably because it costs less. But, anyways, maybe I'm wrong about that, but I think speech therapy costs more. Oh, thank you, Boeing, if you're still in here, that's nice. Democrat, I hate Trump because they told me to. Democrat, I'm voting for the person because they told me to. Democrat, I don't want a son, I want a daughter. Let's make it happen, Captain North Pole, Yuletide gas. It's like living next to a crack house, Cathos said. Oh, I don't know what you're saying that about. Guys, I don't think it's fair that no one else here is gay and you guys are berating me for my sexual orientation. Joe, you're just sitting here talking to yourself, not to be mean. How can you hate Trump and like America? How can you like America and not? Well, hate is a strong word. I'm just in a mood tonight. I'm severely disappointed in Trump. I'm like a parent. It's like I'm severely disappointed in you. Yeah. And the World War III, like that's just like the start of World War III, and I'm not gonna like wallow in it because there's nothing you can do. But it's like, oh, there's that. So now we should probably like buy a few more solar panels, get a few more things we weren't planning on getting with our tax return. Um, Leave it to the gay person to think everything is about them. North, we can't do anything meaningful, to be honest. Why do you say that, M? Yeah, we do colonialism. We are good at it. That's why we need to take Venezuelan oil. Well, I just wish we could help our own country before we start, like, the claim, at least, well, I will give Trump, like, that's the side part of him I do like when he's like, he just talks about the oil. But then I saw him saying something about how it's not good quality oil. But like, yesterday it was like, oh, they have lots of oil reserves. It's just the infrastructure needs work, and we're going to work on the infrastructure and get that oil. And I'm like, well, at least he's not going to be like other presidents and like not say the elephant in the room. But I know that it's like supposed to be like the socialism we're like saving them from. And I know, I sound horrible. It's just like I wish people here got some help. Um, but climate change and abortion, Rocky Nitro. I just wish I knew exactly what your guys' comments were. And like, it's not your fault. It's the way I talk about a lot of different things, and like, and then I don't know when I read your comments what you're talking about. Why do you hate President Trump? Okay, I already answered that. Am I buffering to a lot of people? I hope not. Oh, Stone Papa Smurf, that's cool. Smoking a blunt and watching a John Benet Ramsey documentary. We have a failing birth rates in many countries like Korea and Japan. Yeah, that's really interesting, Mr. Tyler. I talk about that a lot on my channel too. I think it's just the end of times. And I don't mean that like everything's going to go away forever. I think it happens in cycles, and it's happened before, and it'll happen again the exact same way, maybe not exact same, but like the gist of it. And it was in the Sumerian tablets, which when they were found was like in 2015 was like the oldest written like tablets they had ever found. I don't know if they still are. They just said this world starts like female dominant, and we're talking about like energy, not like women rule the world. Although and then ideally, when the world is at its prime, like the best times are like when a female and male are mixed perfectly in the middle. That's like the middle of the cycle. We are clearly at the end of the cycle, which is male dominated. It's just obvious. It even talks about like details, like what that means. And so that's what I really feel like it is, definitely not like the end of something. I don't. Oh, and the falling birth rates are a part of that. People not getting along as well. Korea, it's crazy, the birth rates. And I'm not saying this for every woman. I think that there's different reasons, just like people don't have babies for different reasons here. But a lot of women, you should read the 4B. What is it? I don't want to say motto. It's like this woman wrote this thing where she's like, if the person I give birth to might play part in my own oppression, why would I give birth to that person? Was said more eloquently than that, but basically, they're sick of the misogyny in their culture. They're very misogynistic. Like women think they are here. They're like way more like the woman should do it all over there. Like the woman does all the domestic duties, all the child rearing, and just like our economy, more and more of them work. So, uh, it's like, really looked at like the just I get, correct me if I'm wrong if you're Korean, but you're like a big sissy if you like are a really good hands-on dad. Hey Lydia, do you got Telegram and I sent you a message through email? Can you check it out after? Yeah, I'll check it, Fendi. I'll definitely check my email after this. And I don't have Telegram. I'm gonna get a new phone, hopefully in March, because I can't even keep the Instagram app on my phone because I don't have the space for it. It's like I got Instagram, but I deleted it because I had to. TDS isn't even a new thing. It's been around for a minute now. I know, Peace Pack. I'm joking mostly, but it worked. I got more people in this live than ever. I don't like clickbait. I really do genuinely feel that the people that used to call other people Trump, you have Trump derangement system syndrome. Used to say that about other people. They are the ones that are acting like deranged over Trump, just like believing. And I know I sound very strongly opinionated right now. Everybody's welcome here, but that's just how I feel when people like attack me because I made a video about the daycare fraud, and I ended it with no matter who you vote for, Nick Shirley's video had a lot of useful information in it. Like, don't write it all off. Like, we need to all stop being more, writing people off because they don't fall in line with us. But I know not everybody can be like that. I like that. Mentioned Chris Norland earlier. I made a video talking about how he was like talking about nobody is in factory work anymore. And he's like, we need to be thinkers, not builders. And that really pissed me off because at the time I worked in a factory. And I'm like, how dare you? How can you say there's no such thing? We need factory workers. We always will. I don't care who thinks everything's going to be automated. You still have to have people run the robots. You still need people maintaining the robots. And like, there's always going to be people needed in manufacturing. I know maybe less, but like, that was insulting. And I hope he saw my video. But I still watch him, even though he pissed me off when he said that. I think he's a good guy overall. Like, nobody's perfect. Go live in Venezuela for a year, then come back and give us your opinion. Well, Daniel, I don't know if you were in here, but I'm a quarter Colombian. Nobody helped out any of my Colombian family during the guerrilla warfare in the 90s, but I guess they just didn't have enough oil reserves underneath them or something, you know. I guess the emeralds and the coffee there wasn't enough to help out what that was going on there. God, like it's just the reality of the situation. We can't help the whole world. We can't. We need to focus on our own country. And yeah, I do feel like that. I don't care like how cold I sound. Do you know how many like there's genocides taking place? There's been a few genocides taking place. Um in our lifetimes is what I was going to say all over the world, and people are like You go live there and be, and it's like, you could say that about so many things. The ability to entertain a thought and not accept it is the mark of an educated mind. Mr. Tyler said, "That's funny, Mr. Tyler." What is he getting done, A dog? I mean, I want to know. Like, I might not have heard about certain things. Now, okay, that's not to say there's been nothing in his whole term that I was like, oh, that's good. I am more natural minded. I knew Tylenol depletes glutathione for years. Tylenol depletes glutathione, the master antioxidant. You use it for processing everything from things you eat to like the pollution you breathe in. It's very important and it can help you a lot. NAC is the precursor to glutathione. It's cheaper and more easily available. I mean, I don't know. You might want to try it. I'm not giving any medical advice, but it's great. And Tylenol says not to give Tylenol, and it's just such a shame that like now people that should have listened to that advice aren't going to because it came out of certain people's mouths. Oh my gosh, it makes me so annoyed. So yeah, I'm still open-minded to Trump. I still listen to what I'm not like, my ears aren't burning when I see him or something like that. But it's like when somebody that I've spent a decent amount of time talking to jumps down my throat and like says stuff to me, it's just like there's enough going on. We've all got enough stress, like people don't need that. Men should get a salary. Women carry one baby for 9 months. I carry millions all the time in my big fat pair of egos. I don't know what any of that means, Joe. Are you a bot? Me and leftists got beef after they threatened to kill me. Oh no, not middle. Jacob, you spelled Colombian wrong. It's Colo, not a U. I know you're used to saying Columbus all over the place here, but that's not how you spell Columbia. Daniel, we keep breeding and there's no work. So how do we have an economy? Yeah, Daniel, that's a good point. It's maybe that's a good thing, that less people are having babies. I think it's good less people are having babies to a degree. Now, the people that want babies, I think it's good that it's like more normalized to just not have babies. Like if you don't wanna be a parent, you shouldn't feel pressured into doing that. I think that's awesome. But it makes me sad that there's people that genuinely want to, but they can't. When's the last time Daniel was in Venezuela? Bro probably has never left the country. Hey, said, "Easy, if you find yourself hating people and speaking in absolutes about topics you don't know all the details of, you're probably affected," Easy said. Um, it's the algorithm. Everything is so divisive. Yeah, here for the LOLs. Yeah, you're right. I mean, yeah. Did your grandma come to the USA legally? Yes, James. She went to school here. She got two master's degrees and she taught Spanish in high school rest of her career and retired, had a very nice retirement. Now you want to take care of our country when Trump starts making world peace. A dog, bless your heart if you think Trump's making world peace. I really do hope you're wrong. You're right and I'm wrong. I mean that with all my heart. I mean that. I want what's best for everybody just as much as anybody else. But I could not imagine really thinking Trump wants to make world peace. And he can't just the way he talked about the Epstein files, okay? This is how I feel and I'm probably gonna like end it, or I'm close to ending it, getting off the live. It, our world is run by corrupt perverts, and they all run in the same circles together. That's like what's really going on here. There's an obvious end of a cycle. They can't siphon everything. You can only squeeze so much blood out of a turnip, or how does that go? You can't squeeze blood out of a turnip. That's what that saying is. And uh, yeah, I have no doubt. I mean, it is like a movie. Somebody made a video, Wag the dog. Founder of the Press. Oh, I think that's her name. She's a small YouTube channel. I really like her channel. And there was this movie made years ago. I forget. Anne Hesh was one of the actors in it, where they staged a war because there was something going on with the president. And to distract people, they like literally staged a war. And I'm not saying that's what's going on here, but it's like that kind of stuff used to be like only in movies. And like I think more and more people are waking up to like, yeah, like anything's possible. And I feel like we live in the longest episode of the Twilight Zone. And I thought it too. I really did think he was different. So I don't blame, I'm not gonna like call somebody stupid, but like, I mean, if you come at me first, and I understand I do sound like I'm calling people stupid. I think that people are manipulated and brainwashed is a harsh way to say it. People are conditioned, and we've been psychologically, it's just amazing. It's actually like very well thought out the way people have been put in the up and down, and, like into mass hysteria, basically. Like our nervous systems have been like drastically changed to the point where people's lives, like, it didn't used to be like that. Who you identify with, like, it wouldn't get to me if somebody called me deranged over Trump or Biden or whoever it was in power because I just would know I'm not. You know what I mean? And, I always thought it was kind of goofy and funny, and I've known people that were like that with Trump. Literally, I could stub my toe, and my mom is like, "That's Trump's fault." I could get a flat tire, and my mom would somehow link it back to Trump. She's one of those people. It was so ridiculous. And it's the divide and conquer has worked out really well, for several reasons. Like, I barely talk to her. Like, and there's so many times I would plead with her, please just stop talking about politics. Because it was like she was always trying to change my mind. I'm like, you're never going to change my mind. And that's fine. Like, we don't have to talk about these things. Like, try to prove to me why Trump was so horrible. And it's funny now, because if we talked more, I'd be like, oh my gosh, I really don't like him. He's turning into like, and then she would probably have a field day. I couldn't imagine the kind of thing she would say to me and the way she would react. And then for what? Like, why? Why is that even a thing? And I've always said, I don't like love him. I just wanted him to win all three times he ran. And I know that he does have some balls and says a lot of things, but then when it comes to actions, like actions speak louder than words. I don't see that much going on with his actions. That and like Joel Salatin, really famous farmer, was supposedly going to be put in this committee, some kind of agriculture or something. And he wasn't. Like at the beginning of his administration, I was all excited about that, and then that fizzled out. So yeah, JFK, as much as he knows, like, the truth about certain things, I just don't think he's really great because people aren't going to listen to him. And he has said some pretty weird, kooky stuff on top of all of that. Like, it finally, we do, like, the vaccine schedule was changed, I guess, recently. I think that's a good thing. We had the most rigorous schedule of, like, any nation in the world. It doesn't mean you shouldn't get your kids vaccinated, but, like, you should know, like, how much our kids get here and also how many allergies and other diagnoses of other things they get comparably. Like, and, I don't think it's horrible that we, like, rein that in a little bit. But then the people that, like, there's probably gonna be people still going by the old schedule just to, like, spite them. So stupid. But I also understand it to a point where it's like, so this person is just making all these drastic changes. I'm sorry, guys. We should be more concerned with preserving nature because there are 8 billion humans and they have the capability to move off world, yet they are figuring out what the issue is. Steve Stapp, I definitely think we should be concentrating on nature. This is a great place to have a nice glass of Sauvignon Blanc and eat ginger snaps and listen to Rent and read mostly mostly dumb trolls art. Does anyone tell you that you look like Emily Blunt? No, Peter Rinser. I think I saw somebody say that once. Um, do you think I look like her? Thank you. I don't see it, but thank you. I think she's a cute woman. When is Trump going to make world peace? That's what I'd like to know, Freedom Writer. They should be completely concerned with preserving. Yeah, and instead they just there's Alexandra Fasulo. She's a great YouTuber. She has land in upstate New York, a little farm, and they're like putting in a solar farm on like preserved land. It's like nature preserve. There's like whatever, wetlands, grasslands, I think. And they're trying to fight it in the area, and they're just like just continuing, of course. They don't give a shit about nature. Honestly, I don't care what he got to say at all. I don't bother to watch any speeches in this country, etc. I checked out completely. Fendi, good for you. I think that's a good way to be. I go through my periods where I'm more like that. I feel like I'm getting ready to do that again this spring. Not to not listen to anything, but like I really do think that that is, they want us so disconnected, and that's part of what they're doing. Um, I know one thing, if you can't take care of yourself, why have kids you can't take care of, Daniel said. Yeah, Daniel, I understand that, but now times are harder than ever. I don't know exactly what you're saying that about. I'm 38 years old, Robert. World peace, and it totally has nothing to do with Venezuela having the biggest oil reserve on the planet Earth. Right, King Carl, right? I know, it's just like it definitely seems like more people are waking up, but, yes. My dad, I was, like, 9 years old when he told us Vietnam was fought over poppy fields, and this was before Afghanistan, and he's like, "This is how wars work," and, yeah. Well, he missed the manufacturing of the weapons. So these billionaires have their hands in that. And so their government, the government gives them billions of dollars to do these contracts, or they, give our military all their weapons. And then, the truth about is a lot of that, there's so much that I like kind of like Fendi. I learned enough that it made me like check out that it's like this is like a done deal. We used to manufacture tanks and now we don't. Like, why wouldn't you make sure we can manufacture everything our military needs on our own soil? Isn't that a given? Why would anybody do anything to deter that? And oh, acid burn. If Trump goes in and makes all those countries' economy better, that means more jobs for US citizens. Acid burn. But he's not going to go make all those countries' economy better. How can he do that when he can't even make our economy any better? A lot of people would be moving back to their country so their rent will go down. Why would people move back to their countries? What are you talking about? I'm sorry. I just like the way you talked to me earlier. It's like I try to be nice and like, I'm an autism mom. I don't think I'm neurologically typical either, but it's like I don't even want to have a don't know what you're talking about. I don't care because the way you talk to me, the way you made me feel, I'm like, it's just how I am. I'm sorry. I don't want to write people off because they like Trump, but when you tell me that I'm wrong and I need to do more research and all that shit, yeah, both sides got the same weddings, the same dinner parties, same meetings. Democracy is flawed. Yeah, King Carl. They always told us growing up, like the politicians go out to dinner after debating all night, like they all rub shoulders. They're all like uh, no, they are brainwashed, and it's telling Fendi's that I'm trying to be nice because I know there's probably people that would be disappointed in hearing me say, just unsubscribe from me. If you're a diehard Trump supporter, if you're gonna say you think Trump is going to bring world peace and like really like, I mean, wish for it, sure, that's great. But if you really think that I'm wrong for like not loving Trump, I was like, oh my gosh, like I just what does he have to do? What does he have to like murder somebody in the streets, I guess, like something that blatantly obviously wrong? Because I was disappointed in Obama. I think we all go through this a few times before it really breaks and we're like, hey, they're all the same. They're all the same. So I understand like everybody's on their own journey and they have to get to that point themselves. And I don't want to like force them into it. But it's like the I'm telling you, I got so many comments where I felt like I'm telling you guys, you can tell I'm chronically online, okay? People on the right are acting like people on the left, like how they used to for years. And we were like, oh, and like you couldn't talk to them about anything. That's how the people on the right are acting now. And I think it's a coping mechanism because I think they know like things aren't going to get any better. Things are only going to get worse from here. And I hope I'm wrong. I really do. I hope I'm wrong. I don't think I'm wrong though. I think this was World War III. I think we've been in a recession for a while. They won't fucking say it. And like they're not gonna say, like, it's World War III for a little while either. A lot of this stuff tends to happen around holidays. It's not lost upon me as like right after New Year's. And all of a sudden, I'm sure it has something to do with the no country too. It's not just oil for us. And it's the control of the oil. It's not just for us. So like we have those ports that we're going to Russia and China and wherever else. And now like we'll be able to control that. That's all Trump cares about. He doesn't care about people. He doesn't care about any of us. They look at us as peasants. They look at us like ants under their feet. You all really need to realize that. And like, It doesn't mean that you have to cry about it, but, like, it's empowering to be like, "You know what? Like, we live different lives. It's a different class than us, and we have the power as working class people. We have all the power." And if people could really get that in their heads, we could all stand together and make real change just by our actions and the way we use our money and the way we pay our taxes. Like, I don't like that's my biggest point. And it's like, I hate to say it too, but, like, that's one thing I can't identify with the right anymore is the love of billionaires. Oh, thank you for the 100 big what's your name? I saw big thank you. My chat gets stuck and I start talking Big Dean, thank you for that. Clayton Bigsby, who hurt you? Everybody's been through trauma. 9.5 out of 10 people have trauma in their life, so, unless you're, like, one of those point 0.5 out of 10 people. No, this is my hair. Look, I have a bunch of white hair. I just decided, like, oh, yeah, remember that acid burn? Oh, now you're gonna send me a floating heart. How funny. Remember when you first started coming to my chats and you wouldn't shut the fuck up about me dyeing my hair? Do you remember that? And I had to tell you to basically shut the fuck up about me dyeing my hair because I'm a married woman. And it was like you were trying to get me to dye my hair for you or something. Do you remember that acid burn? I should have blocked you back then, honestly. I should have known when you wouldn't get off my ass about the fact that I'm a 38-year-old woman that has white hair and you tell me not to use chapstick because it's bad for your lips? But put dye in my hair. Do you know how bad dye is? I didn't say dye your hair. I said use copper and it'll go away. Oh, you kept bringing, but you wouldn't stop talking. Okay, I'm sorry to correct myself. You wouldn't shut the fuck up about my hair and how I needed to use copper. And like, I do have a supplement with copper in it, and I do know that trick, but like, that's just like you wouldn't stop saying it. And then it's like, do you think even if I started taking copper when you said it, do you think when you said it a week or 2 later, it was all gonna be dark if I took that copper? No. I'm sorry, you need to learn how to, like, act. And you say the stuff about us being married, I should have blocked you then. Honestly, I'm married to somebody. Stop bringing up in, like, a different life we'd be married. There's, like see, I'm learning my lessons early in my YouTube channel. There's certain red flags I need to, like, just, quit spending my energy. And I have a septic system. I don't want that nasty chemical in my fruit trees. We have pears and apples right by the septic leach field. Like, I'm sorry, but it's shit like that that's like, I haven't said any of that shit you're saying. You're fucking going off on somebody because what the hell's wrong with you? What is wrong with you? It's you left comment after comment after comment after comment after comment on my video. And yes, you did. You just said you did. You reminded me, oh, it was the copper. You wouldn't shut the fuck up about my white hair. And yeah, it did piss me off. And I was being nice about it. And now that I've decided to just like write you off, I'm gonna tell you don't go on and on to some woman about how she has I know she knows if she's got hair that's not, that is white or gray. And nobody needs somebody to tell them over and over how they can get rid of their hair. They obviously don't care if it's showing. And I remember I told you, yeah, I get it. The copper, like I've heard that before. Who was all you're saying it was the other guy that was saying that about the copper in my hair, acid burn, the guy that I did. See, there was this other guy. You both came on at the same time, and I had to block him because he started saying shit about my marriage. And I'm like, I don't understand. Um, certain things when it comes to like streaming, it's like you start to get a little parasocial and think that like the person you talk to on a regular basis owes you something. Like, I don't know. Because somebody was mentioning it. Okay, acid. I just remember you mentioning it. I just remember you saying, "Did you know copper?" Like you just said. Copper is supposed to help with gray or white hair, Madden. It can. If you have a copper deficiency, it can lead to gray or white hair. So the whole point is, everybody is under enough stress as it is. If I make like that video, it was like comment after comment, and like, and the way that people are interacting, it's like I literally said there's daycare fraud. I don't know why people are acting like I said anything other than that. I called out that he said, "We're going to George Floyd's neighborhood." I just think it's stupid and divisive and not necessary. If you can't see how this got promoted and went viral, and then what, like 300 million views later, it was like, there was shit from 2013 on YouTube. Like, why isn't Nick Shirley bringing up anything other than that David guy? I don't, it's just kind of weird how this investigation played out. That's not to say two things can be true at once. People are like so not into like comprehensive reading, critical thinking skills that they zero in on one thing and that one thing is true. And like somebody said to my title, "Well, you're being divisive saying how the right investigates fraud." I'm like, "Yeah, I understand where you're coming from with that, but I'm talking about like the corporations and like, the elites class that rules the right, really. I'm not talking about like all people that identify with the right." And he's like, "So there aren't any corporations on the left that are corrupt?" And I'm like, "No, absolutely there are. These things can be true at once." And it's just like, it's exhausting. It's exhausting. Libs want Kentucky to have some quality leering centers. Now that shit wouldn't happen here, TT. It wouldn't. And that's, I posted a news clip in my video about it where somebody was saying, "There's something happening in Kentucky." Some politician guy, because they monitor shit. We were on a Medicaid waiver. Somebody came to our apartment once a month. The whole time we were on that waiver, once a month. If they can do that for one family with one child on one waiver, they can have somebody visit a leering center that has like dozens of people getting tax dollars, having, funding them through that way. They want to criticize your here, but say nothing of that horrendous merkin Trump has on his head, Steve. And Bill, hey Bill, how are you? I'm the one that's being a jackass, honestly. I know I am, but the Conspiracy Files is a YouTube channel, and I am going to make a good post. I seriously have a draft of a post that's like really good channels, and I need to just make it that are like Epstein and Charlie Kirk stuff. There's just like so many, and like some of them are bigger, but a lot of them are smaller channels I found that are doing really good. Like, but this Files guy, he's a large channel that's like bringing up all this stuff nobody else is, or at least anybody I follow. And this is YouTube. I'm sure there's more stuff on X where it's just like wild, wild west. But this Epstein file, like, I don't know why it isn't a big deal and going like wildfire that there's little kids. Our president, if you like Trump still, Trump is complicit in the cover up because they say Epstein's youngest victim was 12. No, they weren't. There's so many pictures, and yeah, I'm jumping to conclusions. I think this is a safe time to be able to do it, where he has toddlers, little babies, toddler age, 5, 6, even it looks like maybe 10, 11 years old. Definitely well under 12 years old, though. So much proof of it coming out, and everybody's going to talk about something else, you know? It's fucking disgusting. Just like I know that's the mindset of a lot of people, how Megyn Kelly was like, "Oh, well, it's like not like it's kids, like little kids. It's like older. It's like, the teenagers that wanted it, right? They're like 14 and older, so it's not that bad." Ew, I don't understand that. I'm sorry. I think grown men with 18-year-old girls is bad. I think that's gross. I do. I think it's gross. Because me at 38 years old, I couldn't imagine being attracted to an 18-year-old boy. I just couldn't. And I think young people deserve to be with other young, hot people. That's just how I feel about it. And if you don't feel like that when you're middle aged, something's wrong with you. And some of it might be conditioning. I do think, like, I'm not trying to make you feel bad. If you're a man, you're attracted to younger women. Like, I think a lot of that does have to do with like the way we're socialized and this like barely legal stuff. And there's like a countdown for when a girl turns 18. Oh, that's so disgusting. Cold Killer said, "Now I lost all support for him after the files came out, and there's some disgusting shit in those files. I bet almost everything that was redacted has to do with Trump." Like, yeah, or his friends. That's why he acted the way that he did. The way he was like that binder thing where they had the influencers with the white binders that had nothing new in them. That was weird. And like it really shows how stupid they think most people are. That was going to work, and then obviously it doesn't work. And then what's her face leaving? I think had a lot to do with the Epstein files. You know what I'm talking about, the one blonde lady. But most people don't have a backbone. And The way he thought he could just be like, "Oh, we're not talking about that." Who's still talking about Epstein? Oh god, they really do think that, like, most people are very stupid. Because men and women are attracted to different things, Jacob said. Well, I believe my husband when he says that he thinks it's gross to like the thought of being with an 18-year-old woman. And I'm person enough to know that doesn't mean that some beautiful 18-year-old woman wouldn't catch his eye. But to like literally date an 18-year-old to, I know men are more like aesthetically, but like it's just weird in the imbalance is something. And I think that it says a lot about the man. I do. I can say it. Do you guys see the picture of Trump sucking the life force out of a baby around Christmas? No, Steve. Is that some kind of meme or something? I have to laugh at it. Women tend to date older guys. Yeah, Dan, I dated, and I've talked about it. I dated an older guy when I was 18, and it was, that's why I'm speaking from experience. You don't have anything to talk about. It's just somebody with resources getting, and it's like you think it might be a fair exchange of power from the outside looking in, but it never is. There's no such thing as a fair exchange when it comes to somebody's body and intimacy. And that's why I don't believe in, people say it's the oldest profession in the world. And I heard this fact that where there are legal brothels, like in Belgium, the prostitute is only allowed to say no up to 10 times every 6 months. So how much is that real consent when you know you can only use it up to 10 times every 6 months? That's because there's no way to really make rules for somebody's body being given to somebody. Like it's just not supposed to be that way. But we're here. Everybody's different, but I do think that obviously we're socialized to think like women aren't attractive after the age of 30. Some people 24. They'll say like, you hit the wall. Women are only attracted from 18 to 24. I could not imagine. I couldn't imagine. Like people really think that being attracted is completely natural. Dating one is a bit odd though, right? Was always attracted to older women. Now they're just women my age. Here for the L's. Well, that's cool. Here for the lulls. Sounds like you're jealous. I'm jealous of 18-year-olds. No, Brandon. Not jealous of 18-year-olds, especially now. I feel bad for anybody that's young. Don't worry, Danielle. She couldn't be with you either. Yeah, I'm 42 and I couldn't be with a 20-year-old. Oh, I just saw Daniel's. Yeah, see, I've seen other people say that and I don't think they're lying. There was a video where a 38-year-old man was disgusted with his friend because he got a 17-year-old pregnant. He was also like 37 or 38. And he was making this video saying, like, am I right or am I wrong? But this man himself had an 18-year-old daughter. And he's like, that was disgusting to me when I realized it was he said he had a girlfriend, she was 17, yada yada. Then it came out on the wash, or no, she was pregnant. Then it came out she was 17, and that's when the guy was like, "This is so disgusting," and, yeah, I do think that's really sad, but, not to disparage anybody that's been in that situation, like I said, I was once too. Um Oh yeah, Lydia, people were unredacting a lot of that stuff and finding disturbing shit. Yeah, like whoever redacted it initially didn't do it right, and then people found ways of like unredacting it. I did see that. I'm married to a woman 18 years younger than me, but she's way smarter. You can't just put everything in one basket. Well, good for you, Chris. 18 years can work with some people. I just don't think it can work with most people. So I don't know if she was 18 when you got together, but anything's possible. Your husband is lying. Well, like I said, Eber, I'm not saying he would never find an 18-year-old woman attractive, but like to be with somebody that's half your age is going to be difficult for a lot of people. Guaranteed your hubby is looking at barely legal pussy. No, he's not proud patriot. He doesn't look at porn. And I know you guys aren't going to believe that. I've already talked about this too. He told me how he stopped because I didn't ask him to. And like I share this because I think we have some of the best intimacy because of that. Like I noticed a difference. when he stopped, and he said, "I just felt bad." That feeling where you're like, "Ugh." I feel that too. I thought it was a woman thing. I didn't think that men felt that feeling. Like when you're done, you know what I mean? When you're watching adult media and you're all done, and then you feel like this sinking feeling and you feel kind of gross. I just thought that was like a woman thing. And then he's like, I don't like feeling that. And then, like, often you're not sure if the woman is of age. It's like, is this person even 18 years old? And sometimes it's like she's not having like a good time. It's like she's in pain more than pleasure. And I don't like that. And maybe it's because he's been around a woman that's not in pain enough to know, and a lot of men don't have the experience to know what they're looking at and be like, wait, I don't think she really likes what's happening to her. And I'm glad I can say I'm with a man who genuinely is not turned on by a woman, being hurt or being forced. And I know not all people feel like that. Both my wives were older than me. My first real love was I was 18, was 10 years older. Oh, that's cool, Steve. Yeah, 10 years, depends on what we mean by date. Militant prepping. How are you doing? Oh no, I couldn't date at 18 when I could have wore out 30. Yay. The men's are the ones being exploited. JB. How so? How about a poor, smart man or a woman in office, not a rich asshole, someone who has real value? Yeah, I mean, I feel like that's what I have, somebody with real value. Bill, Lydia, I was talking about these other guys that were making comments and changing the subject. Oh, okay, Bill. So in Estonia, the legal age is 14 years old, FYI. Yeah, and that's sad. I think that's really sad. I think that those laws are made by perverted older men, honestly. I think that's really horrible. I know it's like that in a lot of the world. And yeah, like, let's be realistic. Yeah, 14, 15, 16-year-olds. Okay. A lot of times they're sexually active. I don't think that they should be at all, but I really don't think that any adult should be taking advantage of like the way people's hormones are raging when they're that age. You know what I mean? I think that it's gross. I think that we should be guiding them and helping them, and one reason why there's like so much HPV, so many STDs, so many. I was just thinking about this the other day. Think about the people that fuck around the most, that have the most partners for their whole lives. Like these guys, 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s, fucking around different people every month that whole time. Oh my God. They're the ones spreading these things. I mean, everybody is, but you know what I mean? Like they have to be doing it so much. It's so gross to think about. And also, I feel like that's proof that we're not supposed to be like that, promiscuous, because there wouldn't be STDs and STIs, if we were meant to just like fuck around with whoever. Like I really do believe that. And when you're with one person, the best sex you'll ever have is never going to be like a one night stand. It just happened one time, and in my opinion, I'm sorry, you're not doing it right if that's the case. The best sex is going to be people you've been with for a long time, like over and over and over and over again. And like that kind of stuff isn't like talked about because, I couldn't date women in my kids' age range. Right, Jay's journey. I think a lot of people feel like that. We have an 18-year-old, he's a boy, but I couldn't date a chick that age. I don't got the energy to deal with a girl that age. Fendi, that's funny. I know I wouldn't want to date 18-year-old Lydia. Ugh, like that's what I was thinking. Like, but the men that have those young girlfriends usually have the resources, and so they're not putting up with the temperament the same way as a normal relationship. They're just like paying her money, and and also, once again, I was that 18-year-old. You end up getting with some guy you think is cute. You'd rather be with somebody you're really attracted to. And that's why those guys like cycle through those young girlfriends because they're always leaving the old rich guy for some young guy that they actually like. And I know sometimes people are really attracted to the older rich guy. I'm not saying that like that literally never happens. Every man likes hot bodies, but being with them, you should be on different levels, Daniel said. Glenn, it's called watching a video and it was brought up in the video about life in Estonia. That's really interesting, Glenn. I didn't know that. Um, I feel gross all the time. Oh, Scooter Scooper, I'm sorry to hear that. I hope you feel differently sometime soon. Nobody deserves that. I don't answer questions about my bush. Easy. It's just not my business who people love. Gay, age gap, multi-race, tall people, fat people, etc. within the law and consensual is not my business. Oh, well, you're really open-minded, easy. I just have a lot of strong opinions after everything I've been through, but at the same time, if I met a couple, of course, you guys, I think you would know this. And it's not me being a coward, it's just me being polite. I wouldn't say to their face, "You're too old for her." You know what I mean? It's like people have to find these things out on their own. And if one of my sons came home with somebody 20, 30 years older than them, it would be the same thing. Thank you, high frequency. That makeup brush was neat. Oh, thank you for saying my eyes are pretty. Like Levitt and her husband. Oh yeah, Steve, they gross me out a little. I'm sorry. That grosses me out a little. I'm sorry if you're an older man with a younger woman, but he's like 60 and she's what, 26? That's gross to me. And they're finding out more that the woman's egg doesn't, the DNA doesn't, what am I trying to say? It doesn't age as bad as the men's sperm. Oh, acid burn, you don't have to send 10 memberships. You really don't have to do that. My whole point is the older sperm, it looks like it's causing more issues than we used to think because everything was the woman's fault for decades, right? Like literally everything. Everything was the woman's fault, including when something happens during pregnancy or to the baby after they're born. And I get it, the baby's like in her stomach for 10 months, right? But like yeah, they're finding out more that a lot of genetic defects come from men over the age of 35 more than they realized. If you didn't know that, and I just think that's really interesting. Trumpstein, that's really funny, Andy. Trumpstein. Oh my gosh, I can't believe I haven't seen that before. Why would anyone read The Art of the Steal? I don't know, Steve. Just to be clear, I have not had any relationships with an underage person since I was also underage. Chris. Okay. Um, but had trauma at an early age. Do you think that's part of it? What else did you say, Daniel? I was active at 10. Oh, Daniel, I'm so sorry to hear that. Well, I hope you've healed from your trauma. Yeah, I know that there was a few kids. I mean, I was too young, but at least I was with the same guy for a few years in high school, and I feel like I was too young, but at the same time, I'm glad the way that it happened. But, that always makes me sad when people were, like, kids, like, you can only be kids for so long, you know? Just to be clear, I have not had any relations with I just read that already. I know how you feed your channel a live chat looking at negative stuff, but never positive things and go off on nonsense because some people are listening to your dumb ass. I like how you feed your channel live chat looking at I don't know how to take your comment, William. The art of war is better, Nichols said. Yeah, that's what I've heard of that. I haven't heard of the steal of the deal, honestly. It's about the feeling together being one, Daniel said. Yes, I do think it's a reason why our souls were put here in these bodies, not that's like the only thing. Like it should, I know oh my gosh, I feel bad for people that like, are alone. Steven, whatever culture you're from or religion, these guys know what they're doing and just hide behind bullshit reasons. They're all predatory, even the old rich guy. Yes, Steven, yes. That's what it's like. Oh my gosh, it's so creepy. So, like, the New Mexico ranch, like, hasn't even been searched. I'm talking about Epstein has like this had this ranch. I believe he's still alive. Honestly, I really do. I think, what are the odds that somebody happened to be there right at that ambulance bay as they were wheeling his dead body into that hospital and not covered up? Because, like, when there's dead bodies, they don't ever cover it, they just leave them with the sheet rolled down. That was so weird. And, like, the way it all planned out with the guards falling asleep at the same time and the cameras going out. No, I really do believe that he is, like, off somewhere, and, I wouldn't doubt it, if Ghislaine Maxwell ends up dead. It was like, I wouldn't believe that as much as I do if it wasn't for that picture, of him on the gurney. It's like and yeah, his ear did look different too, and, why would they do that? Why are they so bad at things like this? Like Charlie Kirk. Why are they so bad at it? And then you're gonna pour concrete over it a few days later? It's because of the divide and conquer. Like they know no matter what, there's gonna be people that like don't ever come together and agree as something as a majority because they're always gonna have to think the opposite of what the side thinks that they don't agree with. Or just side staunchly with the side that they are a part of who is saying what they want to believe. You're the type of person that normal people consider normal. Do you realize we are a minority? Normal people consider normal. What do you mean? So who is a minority, GC? I don't know what you mean by that. Okay, acid burn. Well, like I said earlier, I was like, please just stay off my channel or I'm gonna block you. And I meant that. But I do appreciate the memberships. I just like I don't feel like you know, I fall in line enough with what you I have a freaking bobby pin in my slippers. I kept wondering all day what I was feeling on my toe and my slippers, and it was a bobby pin. What the um everybody's gonna have different opinions, right? And then we all have reactions to those opinions. Oh, fallen angel, we're not talking about anything in particular right now. Everything is a woman's fault. What are we talking about? I was talking about um they're finding out more that the age of the man matters more when it comes to fertility. That's all. And birth defects and stuff. Like they used to say it was like, it's like a man could have babies his whole life and people didn't really think about the aging of the sperm. And it is interesting because we're born with our eggs as women. Maybe not mature eggs, but you're born with all the eggs you're going to have in your ovaries and your follicles from birth. But men make sperm every 24 hours, so it is interesting. It would seem like it'd be safe to assume that the thing being made fresh every day is probably gonna be less likely to be genetically affected. But then again, maybe there's some kind of like safety in like the woman's eggs coming from birth. Like they're not obviously affected by like everything going in her body. And so like they've always been there. So like the more toxic a man's body becomes, therefore the more toxic his sperm does. That's just me thinking out loud. But yeah, literally everything. Oh, easy. I do want to make a video about kratom, but I really don't want to like encourage anybody to use it. Um, he's probably hanging out with Charlie Kirk. That's kind of funny, Chris. Gosh, Erica would probably be more likely to hang out with Epstein. Did you guys see Nissy? She has a weird channel name. I love her so much. It's like Nisscee. Nissy Social. She comes up with deep dives where she says facts nobody else says. She does it over and over again. She's amazing. She saw these like tattoos Erica Kirk has on her hand. They're white ink. I've never seen this. I've never seen a tattoo that was just white ink, I'm sure I've seen white ink in tattoos, but like it you couldn't really make out the symbol she has like on this part of her hand. It looks like some kind of fucking Freemason shit to me, honestly. Or it's like the Alpha Omega or something. And then it's like she's got like some whatever. It just blew my mind. She's like the only one and, now I don't wanna say if it was wrong. I think she's the one that connected her to the Rothschilds. She's her uncle's name is Rothstein. Now this might have been Coop, but she had this uncle tagged, and then she, like, untagged him since, but there's still, like, the photo of them together, and this man is, like his last name is Rothstein, and, so, if you don't know, like she was connected to some charity that had something to do with some Romanian orphanage, yada yada. That same man, his last name was Bushell, I think, or Bushnell. Bushell. You can look this up. He was like found guilty of doing bad things with like children on that base, and it's like the same guy that they're like saying he helped with our little kid orphanage charity thing. It's so creepy. And then they have them giving the kids gifts, but they're in plain clothes and they're military men. That really struck me as odd. It was so weird to me. No, over here in our country, they would never like go to an orphanage, a children's home, not dressed in uniform, you know? Yeah, and so once again, this kind of stuff, like I brought up Chrissy Teigen earlier, it's hard to wrap your mind around. It's somebody that's not built like that. It really is. Like you have to be shown over, and it's like, okay, they've shown us enough because that's part of it, right? They're freaking satanic or something. They like have to put it right in front of our faces. Someone asked if you read Trump's book, and I took a little liberty with the title. Oh, Stephen Hensley. Kentucky University is very famous. Yeah, mister. I was just watching a video about human cloning, and I didn't realize that in the early 2000s, this very controversial doctor, he's not from Kentucky, but he was like, working at Kentucky University. He was like, we're gonna do this. And like, guess where he went to do it? To the no country. And this was on BJ Investigates. She has a really good channel. Hi, Simon. How are you? If you're still in here, Google the migrant slave trade and slavery and green energy. I'm going to take a screenshot. The migrant slave trade, I think I've heard of that, but I don't recall slavery and green energy. That's creepy how much stuff goes on. Um, I just a few months ago saw this story. I almost did a video about it, but there just wasn't a lot of information where they were like getting girls from these African countries to go work at a factory in Russia. There's weird shit happens all the time we don't hear about. So I really do believe that they have, like, talking about the human cloning thing, they have it's really creepy to think about, but I think they probably have human farms. And maybe not, maybe there isn't a need for them. But if anything, the having extra parts kept getting brought up, and this was in the early 2000s when they had all the debating whether or not it's ethical. It was really interesting. There's so many different ways to clone a person, and this guy, the doctor from UK, I'm sorry, University of Kentucky, I meant to say. One method, there's several, so many ways, it's crazy, and they've come up with ways to make a embryo from 3 people. Take a skin cell, and you take the nucleus out of the female's egg, which contains 99% of the genetic information, and then you put the skin cell in there, and that's how you clone the person. It's like the person that you got the skin cell from. That's how they speculated they were gonna do the first, and then, like, it kinda came to a halt. I think it was George Bush, our president at the time, was like, "No, we're not gonna do this," and then that's when the guy he was just off there being outspoken with it, and they even got a blessing from, like, a 104-year-old rabbi. So what's going on with that? That was 20, 25 years ago, and people don't talk about it that much. I think it's safe to assume they're doing stuff like that. I mean, so there was one embryo, he put a little girl in a cow embryo. That's what these fucks do. They wanna be like fucking Frankenstein. So he's like one of the and I know they did horrible, horrible, horrible things, and I'm not trying to compare, but, like, it's just reminding me kind of like the Nazi doctors and their experiments, and there's always people like that. It's like, you have to be a psychopath. Okay, I shouldn't say that. We need good surgeons. I don't think all okay, you know what I mean? You have to be built different than the average person to be, like, into this kind of stuff. It's like a fine line between being that and a psychopath, I think, often. And I know we need people like that, but I don't have Discord. Oh, Wilburo. Well, I do have a Venmo if you really want to give me money. I have a Venmo and a Buy Me a Coffee that's listed on my page. This is live. It's not an opinion, it's a Confederate left versus the Republicans again. Yeah, cool. Art. I think GC means that we are normal and that we are not zealots and radicals, that we are individuals and think for ourselves. I hope so. I mean, I think a lot of people are. I know I'm talking about like these like interactions I've had. I don't mean to generalize, even though I am. But it's easy to do when it's like a hive mind. The individual is the smallest minority. This is why we are a republic governed by laws as opposed to a democracy, which concedes to the whims of the majority. Right, Mark? I just feel like we're turning into a technocracy, though. Like our votes don't matter, even the way that our electoral college is set up, it doesn't matter. No politician, I shouldn't say no. I think Massey is decent. A lot of politicians, they don't govern for their constituents. They don't work for their constituents. It's just about who lobbies them and gives them the most money. Oh no, I knew a guy that was addicted to kratom. It ruined his life. Oh, Colborn. Yeah, that's why I said I don't want to. I don't want to. Yeah, I could see that. I mean, it's very hard to get off of once you start doing it, and I had a hysterectomy in April last year, been through a lot. I have 3 hernias, and trust me, if I wasn't in, like, chronic pain I'm not in pain every day, but often. Satanic, these people are occult. Yeah, Chris. Thank you, Q. That's funny, Saint. My husband did make lasagna yesterday. That's funny you keep saying that. I believe so, Steve. Weren't Erica's family involved with Mossad? There's like a picture of her with like BB's son. They're like obviously, they're going over to the no-no country. Um, I totally believe, her parents are. Have you seen? I don't know how much you got. Her mom has all these different aliases, and people have really dug into companies. Like a lot of it doesn't make sense. Like people out there, most of us are just like living paycheck to paycheck. And then there's people out there that their biggest problem is just like moving their money around and like finding ways to make it look more legit. Um, Girl, I take Adderall all day. You're not going to steer me wrong. I was just looking for an alternative, but I understand. Yeah, easy. It's nice to know that it's there, but like, yeah, I had to stop for my hysterectomy. I couldn't imagine any withdrawal being much harder, and I'm sure some are, but I mean, it was like all the withdrawal symptoms you could imagine, and I was tapering off. I didn't even quit cold turkey. Tapering off as slowly as I could in the time that I had to have my surgery was really hard, and so I understand why it's illegal in certain states. I've been grateful for it, but that's just like I'm honest that I take it because sometimes, like, if my pupils, I mean, I have a bright light shining in my face. My pupils look really little. I'm just truthful, but that's, something I wish I didn't take every day. Upside down cross on your wall. I don't. Hi, Samar. How are you? Don't knock it till you try it, Thomas said. Cloning for organs, right? Sniff and glue? Yes. I mean, it has to be happening. And I know I need to make a video on this. This is something I need to write down. I made a video about the organ procurement organization stuff and how there was a man having surgery here in Richmond, Kentucky. And the surgeon said, I can't do this because the man kept waking up and saying stuff. And it turned into this whistleblowing situation where it was like a nurse and a woman. These people, it's called organ procurement organizations. And once again, like I feel funny talking about this because I don't want to be the reason why somebody isn't an organ donor and then somebody else doesn't get an organ, you know? But like, I am not an organ donor. And like, it happens so much, and I had a hearing recently, and it was, like, December 22nd or 23rd, and I was like, "Oh, of course they put this on C-SPAN, like, right before Christmas," you know? And the doctor speaking was like, "Everybody needs to know this. Guys, it was something crazy. Something like 20% of the time, people wake up on the table after they've been declared brain dead, literally on the table getting ready to get their organs cut out of them. That's crazy. Something needs to be different about this to keep continuing, like, that is not right, and, so just be aware of that, you or your loved one, like, people that are near you that would be involved in your medical care, like, people need to know, like, I don't wanna get into it more than because it's just crazy. It's just crazy to think about. The book's 300,000 children are missing right now, and that's in the books, kinda like how we talked about unemployment. Oh, right, Chris. The lizard people, Cobra. I totally believe there's aliens and or lizard people. Daniel, my aunt is a leading molecular biologist. She had to do that with that sheep. Really, Daniel. Dolly the sheep. Necrokinesis. Primitive ways. Acid burn. Okay, unsubscribe so I won't see you anymore. I might come back in a month or something. You have a good life. Okay, you too, acid burn. Oh, thank you. Yo soy de Venezuela. Thank you, President Trump. Man versus Hulk. Um, yo soy. I'm sorry. Is that are you I'm sorry. I should know what that means, but thank you for the $2. If I need medical care, I'm going to a different country. I went to the emergency room a few months ago for a panic attack and they tried to make me stay there. Oh, Chris, I'm so sorry. I'm sorry that happened to you. And I hate to say it, but I've never heard of anybody having a good outcome from, any mental issues in the health it's like they know oh my gosh. But yeah, it's crazy. I had good health insurance for like 18 months. It was life-changing. I don't think I'll probably ever have that again. Good evening, as your peace and comfort grows with every healing breath. Yes and yes. Oh, hey, Keith, how are you? My name is Lydia, DJ, if you're still in here. You said, who are you? My pupils are tiny too. Got hooked on opioids after back surgery. A friend offered me kratom on a day I was withdrawing and it didn't help me at all. Maybe I didn't take enough. Now I'm on Suboxone for my chronic pain. Yeah, you probably didn't take enough or it was old. It loses its potency quick. It's one of those things that can't like sit around for long. And there's different strains. So whatever strain you had might not have been like your what you needed at that time. What I take is like a mix of strains. It's called train wreck. It's like a bunch of different strains. And some are more uplifting and some are more sedating. So it's kind of I should try to find my and I keep telling myself, I'm just gonna like I don't like part of it is like these end of times, like I could tough it out. I don't have to work a job now. If I had to quit cold turkey, I would live. It would suck. But I mean, incapacitated, like sweats to the point where you're drenched in sweat, shakes, feeling hot and cold, nausea, really bad nausea. Yeah, like double vision. I don't see how it could be much worse. And I told myself after my surgery, I definitely wouldn't get back on it. Yeah, annihilation. Laugh at me some more. Steve, as you enjoy reading these words, realize that your back discomfort now and forever just automatically and naturally fades into your deepest peace and comfort with every healing breath. Yes, and yes, Keith said. Are you starting me to get a job? I take cocaine for my mental issues. Oh man, versus Hulk. Thank you for the $2 again. I really appreciate it. I hope you're joking. I'd just be so scared to take anything like that anymore with all the fentanyl and everything. I would be so scared. Even marijuana, like unless you get it like from a dispensary, but you guys don't just sit and deal with your problems. Griff Lord. If you're talking about the kratom, oh gosh, I think I'm a lot better mentally than I think I have all the tools in my toolbox to deal with my mental issues until somebody pisses me off on the internet. But I don't feel like it's a chronic pain. I don't, we don't drink much. Like the kratom, it's not really like a coping thing for anxiety or anything, but it does make me feel better. But yeah, it really sucks. I got off my pain meds for my surgery and then I got a skin infection. And if you've ever had a skin infection, cellulitis is what it's called. That was so fucking painful. That was very painful. Just imagine like getting a tattoo. If you ever gotten a tattoo or the worst sunburn you've ever had and like the feeling of like grabbing it like just constantly, like the pain was relentless. And then I started doing kratom again. I do practice mind over matter sometimes, Keith. Thanks for your empathy, a quality that's sadly lacking now, Steve said. Right, Steve? Did you know spamming lowers your IQ? Yes and yes, Keith. Yes, Steve. Your sometimes, and I know this isn't going to work with like, especially when you have really bad pain, like it sounds like you do have, but like sometimes when my pain is mild, I can like trick my mind out of it. I can be like, this is just something I'm feeling. It's a sensation. I'll be like, oh, this actually feels kind of good. Yeah, I think I like but like I said, that's not if it's like bad, that's not gonna work. But it really is amazing what the mind can do? And Keith is very empathetic. I share my verbal medicine skills, sharing this shame ain't helping, buddy. Oh, Ty Hughes, if you can send me 500, I have a Venmo. I don't want to say the wrong thing. I think it's Little Kentucky Flowers, but you have to look at my description on my page. I'm sorry, I should have it. I am not high AF. I mean, I guess some people could sit for 2 hours straight. And did you just see how fast I read that comment? I can't take opiates from pain. It stops me. It makes me, I can't, it stops you up. You can't shit. Oh, Chris. Yeah, that would suck. I don't have issues with the kratom, but I think you're right. I think when I've been prescribed like pain medication, that happens. I do that with ibuprofen now. I didn't used to my whole life. And just recently, my words are medicine stronger than drugs. I fly high naturally every day. Thank you, Nathan. I had a skooma. I've never heard of that. Thank you again, Man versus Hulk. Is that a legit thing? Because I've never heard of that. Skooma. every woman is self-diagnosed with anxiety, the Greg said. Well, I think every woman goes through things that imprint upon their central nervous system that gives them reason to be anxious. Now, for her to walk around the world and not deal with it, that is her responsibility to deal with it. But the Greg, I don't know how long you've been here, but and I know men go through shit too. I'm not saying like men don't go through anything, but to be the weaker body, like when I was younger, I was 14 years old, some grown man tried to push me in a gas station bathroom. Happened again. Like, what is the deal with pushing women into bathrooms? If somebody could explain that to me. Does a man really think that and the other 2 times it happened, I was like people I knew and like they obviously thought somehow if they just like pushed me into a bathroom, I would drop my pants or something. I don't know. But all 3 times I had to like fight my way out of it. It was like a weird, awkward situation where I'm like fighting with them in the door and I just somehow get out. It's not funny. This is why we have anxiety because all women have every woman I know has stories like that. And I know so many boys were fucked with when they were kids, and that's something that doesn't get talked about enough either. So I'm not saying that like bad things don't happen to men and things that don't, but that's looked at as a good thing by a lot of people when it's not. And that's one reason why it is discredited. But like every serious boyfriend I had was messed around with by an older woman, or she tried to. Some bitch school teacher tried to pull one over on my husband. His mom. Okay, maybe I should ask him if I think I asked him if I could tell that story. Nothing happened, thank God. He was scared, he was nervous. See, my husband's so sweet. He's such a good guy. And he's the kind of guy like I started to say this earlier, and I don't know why this was like what happens when you're on live for 2 hours, but he's the kind of guy that like even if I'm like not in the mood but I'm kinda like, "Okay, I don't really want to, but I'll do it for you." No. God, no. No. Like, come back to me when you actually want it. Like, he's just like and that's what I think, like, "Oh, that's nice," because I think a lot of men would be like, "Okay, you don't want it? I don't care. Give it to me." I think that's the kind of thing that's, like, the adult media, makes a lot of men different. I used to be on hydrocodone and gabapentin and monthly spine shots. I use hypnotic anchor to help my pain. Oh, Keith Van, that sounds like a lot. I didn't know that. Or if you told me that before, I didn't remember that. And once again, um, I know that there's never going to be no adult media. It's just like this way our world works is crazy. And you think it's never been like this before. Never in known human time have people been able to like interact the way that we do and like see as many people the way that they do. And I don't think it's a healthy way to function within a relationship. Let's just put it that way. I think that's a great way to put it, actually. I'm pretty proud of that. It's not a healthy way to function within a relationship. And it is a gift you can give the person you're with, unless, whatever like floats your boat. It's like, um, it really is. It's nice as a woman to know, yeah, I'm not saying my husband's never looked at another. And I even did. I asked him that. I was like, oh, you look at it like once or twice a year or something. Right? Like something. And he's like, "No, I really have no interest." And I'm like, "Oh, that's so nice." Okay, my dad tried to drown me a couple times when I was a little boy. I got the anxiety too. Oh, Chris, I'm so sorry to hear that. I mean, that will definitely imprint upon your nervous system. Crowbar, women shouldn't vote. Well, men commit over 90% of violent crimes. I don't think that because there's a few minority really bad guys that like all men shouldn't be able to vote. 'Cause I just don't see how you could think all women are so incompetent they shouldn't vote. I had an abusive stepdad and learned to put my mind elsewhere to avoid the pain when I wouldn't cry as he beat me with the serpentine belt. He said I was crazy, never hit me again. Oh, Steve, I hate hearing that. I'm so sorry. Uh, I think about it every day. Like, I have a nonverbal kid. It's like, how many kids are being harmed right now? How many people that are like disabled are being harmed and are in situations they can't leave? I can't even really think about it that, you know, um, it's heartbreaking. And now I feel bad. I know Acid Burn went through some shit when he was a child too, but it's like, yeah, he's just like, get off my ass some days and just May you just automatically and naturally find your inner healing garden to just automatically and naturally heal and restore with every healing breath. Oh, thank you, Keith. I see lack of LeBron Gooners in this chat. LeBron. You ever tripped out on mushrooms in the forest? No, man versus Hulk. I had a really bad experience with it was like a pill when I was 16. It was so bad. I was in the ICU for 3 days. I remember waking up and seeing spiders crawling all over the walls and the doctor's face. I'm not trying to be cute. It was fucking horrible. And then they put me in a room with this painting that moved. Literal a painting that literally like the landscape in it moved. You're gonna put somebody who's tripping on something in a room with like moving artwork. Okay. Couldn't pee the whole time. I swear that's how I got the bladder condition I still have to this day. I was 16, that was over 20 years ago. So yeah, I didn't go near that. And I think that saved me when I was doing the sugar babe shit. I didn't touch any of the other drugs being passed around because I was so and I think that literally probably saved my life a few times. And I was always a pothead. Okay. I'm like and half baked. I don't do drugs, just weed. Like I don't consider that a drug. But anyways, but like I said, I know it can be laced. Where was I going with that? I never tripped on mushrooms in the forest. I have drank mushroom tea and taken this chocolate that had some in it since then. And honestly, the most trippy I felt, like got kind of anxious. I'm like, I don't think this is for me, or at least not anything but microdosing. If you only know how creepy women are, always touchy feely, they think it's fine to just squeeze my arm and rub back. Easy. Oh, yeah, I understand. There's a lot of yeah, I actually saw this. It was like a convention. It was for I see, I didn't realize how bad the novels were getting, the written sex stuff for women. When men were like, women indulge in the written erotica just as much as men do in adult media. I honestly, for the first year, I heard that on the internet. I was like, whatever, whatever. And I'm thinking of like what we grew up with like what's his face, Fabio on the cover with his shirt off and his long blonde hair blowing in the wind. Like, no, that's not a reality for most women. And then I realized, okay, now I see what they're talking about because apparently it is a thing. And it's like a lot of younger women. I'm sure there's some middle-aged women, but it seems like so there was this convention where there was like the authors of this written smut, and that one was a male and he was like being attacked. They were like acting like animals. So like, yeah, I know women can be like that too, for sure. But I don't think the average man has as many I don't know, maybe I shouldn't say that. You know what? It's like when women think they're like entitled to grab a man and they just can do it when that would be a double standard, like it wouldn't be okay when he does it to her. I don't like that shit. I really don't. It's not right. Um, no, I've not tried the tomatinate or whatever. I read about sumo wrestlers being able to control it like that, so I tried it and it worked, Steve said. The pain thing, yeah. Let's talk about how this one time I was talking to my dad and then he effing shot me. I got no left hand. I hate it here. I got no left hand. Joe, if you are, I see, I hate to say that somebody's like being serious. I'm like, if you're being serious, I'm really sorry to hear that too. Um, so I like people telling whatever they want to. You're free to share anything here. I really mean that. And you guys are kind of helping to bring me back around to be like, we're all people. We've all been through shit. If you've been through shit like that, I don't care what you think about Trump, period. You know, I'm sorry. And I hope that the rest of your life is better. Medical induced psychosis, yikes, Keith said. And I was stuck in a K-hole for hours and I was fully convinced I was dead. What's a K? I'm sorry, what's a K-hole? That sounds really scary. That probably made you, I mean, I hope not, but I'm sure that imprinted you. What was mushrooms like? I was always afraid to try it. Crisp, it was just very vivid. Like colors were vivid, things kind of like popping out. And honestly, I'm gonna be honest, I kind of like stopped myself from feeling it as much as I could have, I think. You know what I mean? It's like I kept myself busy and, like, if I just sat there, it would get more so, and I didn't like that. I don't know. I just don't think it's for me. But, yeah, we got this, unfortunately, I think they went out of business. It was a church, and you ordered sacraments from them. It was legal, you know, but now they're, like, going out of business, so I don't even remember the name of it. But, Really unfortunate. Anytime real healing medicine becomes accessible, of course, somebody's got to like shut it down. Mushrooms are mellow but can be hectic. That's a good way to put it in. Is this Earth Gorshin bag? I'm not sure anymore. My sister made me eat fake morel mushrooms. Did it hurt you? I thought those were bad for you. No, Man versus Hulk. And I don't know what you mean. Have you tried Sherm in a broken down car? What does Sherm mean? You're fucking with me now. Some of us are meant to go through some more so we can share our story, and that is our message or testimony. Right, Mind the Gap? I think okay, I like to think, and I could be wrong, of course. We all choose our destiny as we're souls before we start this life, we've been like, okay, yeah, that's the life I want to live. And that also makes it a little easier to bear when you know, like, there are abused children. Because why would somebody choose to be abused? Because the more shit you go through, and I know this is very like Buddhist, the more your soul elevates. And, like, as hard as it is here while you're going through it, when your soul goes back to where we all come from, when your body passes, and you will be like celebrated that much more, and everybody will be so amazed by all the shit you went through, so much more than so many people are even willing to go through in their lifetime. And like, somebody shared that with me, and I'm like, yeah, I kind of have to cling to that. Otherwise, like, things don't make sense. Ever tried LSD? Steve said. If so, they aren't that strong. What I did when I was like, it was like synthetic AMT. It was a pill. It was awful. And I guess that's akin to LSD, DMT. I think it was synthetic DMT. Is that what I'm thinking about? Whatever it was like this synthetic version, and then we didn't realize I got a double dose. I thought it was just one dose, and then the guy that we got the pills from the next day was like, "Oh, oops, those were a double dose." And then the guy that gave it to me was like, "I would have never given you a whole pill if I knew it was like that much. I've never taken anything like that." It was at my boyfriend's house, and the firemen had to come cut all my clothes off of me in front of my parents and his parents. So that was also something that, like, 16 years old. I lost my girl to weed 7 months ago. I pray for you and believe a bright future for you. Oh, Mickey, thank you. Mike, you should see that gay man behave in a bathhouse. Oh, I can only imagine. I know some, not all. Some gay men are the most promiscuous people on the planet. I suggest learning the drug of choice induction so you get the benefit without the negative effects, Keith said. Um, Lewis, she's got octopus tentacle. How am I supposed to compete with crustaceans, not octobro? Go back to the sea, leave humans alone. Okay. Ketamine. Yeah, if I had access to like a really good professional and stuff, I would try ketamine therapy. You know what I mean? I want to just like try it though. When I was younger, it was middle-aged women. As I've gotten older, it's younger women. I don't really care. It's just funny to hear women act like men are a certain way. Easy. Um, Let's see. I think I'm about ready to go. I should get in bed by 1. Hi, country. How are you? Now I'm starting to feel bad for telling Acid Burn to like I need to reread the comments he wrote. I'm just like, I don't want people to think, oh, this girl's gonna go off on me. But I think anybody that's a regular enough to like hear that would understand. Like this, he's just um I hear DMT is strong but short acting. One thing I haven't tried yet, Steven said. How do redheads sneak out of the house? Gingerly. Oh, thank you for the flower, and thank you for the $2 Man versus Hulk. That's funny. Men were put here to make funny jokes and puns, I swear to God. Robert said, I want to try Molly therapy. Remember when we were growing up, they said that that stuff put holes in your brain. But now the older I got, I'm like, is that true? We're talking about drugs right now. Bad advice. Good night, sweetheart, and good night, everyone. Y'all have a wonderful evening. You too, Chris. It was nice talking to you. I hope you sleep well. If you're going to sleep. On my first day back to school, I got a boyfriend just there for the vote said, oh, that's nice. Today. Oh, that's cool. I don't know what grade you're in, but enjoy it. I went snowboarding for like a week straight on mushrooms. I gave it a thumbs up. Oh, wow, mind the gap. That sounds like a fun week. I've never went snowboarding before, probably never will because of all my hernias, but That would be fun. I'm 38. Oh, man versus Hulk. You're being so generous. Moonshine. That would be wild. Oh my gosh. I couldn't imagine. I can't. I used to prefer like rum or tequila or vodka like over beer. I can't drink liquor anymore. Even in like mixed drinks, like my body can't tolerate it. I couldn't imagine something that strong. Now, I do want to get really strong like grain alcohol because if you guys don't know, there's a oh my gosh, now I forget the name of it. I want to try to make ghost. Okay, it's on the tip of my tongue. It's this plant, like it looks kind of like a mushroom, but it's not. And it grows in the forest and it's white. And it's actually like a natural pain reliever. And when you put it in the grain alcohol, it turns purple. Does anybody know what it's on the tip of my tongue? Before I left Facebook, I was in a group for it and I learned so much. And it's the kind of tincture you have to make on the spot. You can't pick it and take it back home with you. I mean, you could, but like you're supposed to put it in the alcohol as soon as you pick it. And like I feel like I might be able to find some this year. I just have a good feeling. I think it's in the spring. Ghost pipe. Yes. Yes, JK. Thank you so much, JK. You won. Ghost pipe. Ghost pipe for sure. Mike said it too. Or Mick. I'm sorry, I don't know what. But yes, that is exactly what I'm talking about. If you've never seen the ghost pipe plant, you guys should look it up. It's just so amazing. Like it doesn't use chlorophyll or it has no chlorophyll. It grows like on forest floors. I think it's technically like parasitic. I could be wrong about this. I don't know. I don't know what that means, Lewis. She told me after I wasn't supposed to eat them. All bad advice. No, I've never licked a toad, man. It's been nice talking to y'all, but I'm going to call it a night. Oh, you take care, Steve. It was really nice talking to you. Hope you have a good night and you sleep well. Super fan. High school kids should not be on YouTube at night. Just be careful here, please. Oh, yeah. If you did go to school today, you should be in bed. Well, I don't know. Maybe you live like in California, but yeah. Um, honestly, I wish I could like just make it so no minor. I made a shorts earlier tonight that I put like on age restricted mode. That was the first time I've ever done that. And it was a clip from a live where this guy comes in and says, I'm not attractive or I'm past my prime or something. And I go off on him a little. There is also something you could look up for a pin that grows everywhere. It's called prickly lettuce. Oh, I do bitter lettuce for pain. Mike or Mick, I'm sorry, Mixtro. Is that what you, Mixtro? I know what you're talking about. It has the white sap, right? I know. Oh, thank you, Mind the Gap. That's so sweet. I'm gonna be all over the place, so I hope you think that's fun. Just take whatever you want and leave whatever you don't. But I am gonna change the title after I get off of here. I was in a mood, okay, when I made the title, but I've never had so many people in a live chat as I did tonight. So I have a feeling it's gonna be a lot of views. And I don't care. I'm just saying you don't make a lot of money off of live chats. Just so you guys know, me getting like 10,000 views on a live chat, I'm seriously gonna make like 10 cents. So I appreciate the super chats and everything. I really appreciate it. I'm just letting you know that it's like I just have fun. Thank you, man versus hog. You're still fuckable. Well, my answer to him was like, "Oh no." I was like, "I don't live to make every man hard that looks at me because I really don't." And like, it's just like people think they're gonna bring you down a peg. Like, I know some women do operate that way. I remember what it was like to be younger and to actually care if like every man that looked at you thought you were attractive. I mean, I was like a teenager though. And so I went off on him a little and I just thought it was good enough to clip. I don't hardly ever do that. But yeah. Anyways. Okay, cool. Yes, I like that you're into natural stuff, Katie. The wood people burn for smudging called Palo Santo. Yeah. Oh, and I've grown white sage, which is kind of hard to grow, and that's great to use for smudging. I didn't have a great garden last year because I had to have a surgery in April, but you guys just wait. I am gonna grow so much cool. I'm gonna grow so much stuff you've never seen any other YouTuber grow. And like plenty of people, like they have a great YouTube channel, Rare Seeds, Baker Creek. I'm gonna grow so much cool stuff. I really love flowers. Oh my, honestly, I love flowers the most, really. If I could do anything with my life, I would be a flower farmer. But I was showing this is in my members only live. I was talking about this. Look at that tiny melon at the bottom. And I'll be real. A lot of stuff that you grow because you've never seen it before, or you never heard of it or had it. You grow it and you're like, okay, now I understand why this isn't super popular. Not that it's bad, but it's just not like anything spectacular either, you know? But it's still so much fun to grow stuff that like you've literally never heard of before. And like I've grown ground cherries, but they scare me because they're toxic before they fall off the plants. So I've grown the plant like twice, but I haven't ate anything that came off of it because I'm a dork. But that's what's so good about gardening too. It's like I used to be so scared of spiders. I'm not scared of spiders anymore. We have black widows in our backyard. I got pretty close to one to kill one because I do kill those. You know, I'm not gonna let black widows thrive where my kid plays. But like, and you know, if you know anything about them, they pretty much stay in areas where the kid's not gonna be, but I still kill them when I see them. And, like, other than that, I love spiders and snakes. Like, being out in nature more has taught me so much, and, like, I don't have Facebook now, but it was very helpful to get in like, I learned, to how to identify snakes in a Facebook group because you see pictures constantly all day long, you know, and so it's, like, constant, education. Should have been a flower child from the '60s. Oh, I wish, Tava. My ex-GF found my journals bad news. It was just riffing, and she took it personally. Poetry with pain. Oh, mind the gap. I'm sorry to hear that. I know it sucks, and it probably still stings when you think about it, but everything happens for a reason, you know? Look how many different kinds of eggplants there are. Look at these little tiny eggplants. Oh my God, I want it so bad. Palo Santo, if you cut it into, if you cut it up into tiny pieces and put it in alcohol to make a tincture, eventually it is a topical painkiller, possibly internal, but I don't know about that. Found conflicting evidence. You kill black widows? Is that a race thing? Man versus hog. You know, I mean the spider. I I've never seen black widows as big. We lived in Southern California and I saw black widows there, but they must have always been babies because they were always like little. Here, these black widows are like you see them from several feet away and you're like, whoa. And I know like listen to me, golden orb weavers, certain spiders have those big abdomens, but that black widow still stands out. Eggplant parmesan is so good. Yes, Bill. I'm glad you're still in here, Bill, or you came back. Yes. This is a really fun flower that I wish I would have grown it last year because it's a biennial. It doesn't flower until the second year. But most people call it Sweet William. And most edible flowers taste like grass or they taste bad. They don't taste like anything. But Sweet William tastes like clove. It's like spicy. And these pictures don't do much justice, but it's one of those flowers you grow and then you realize how beautiful it is. Like see that how it's like two colors. I love that flower. And see how they have dill in a vase. I would do that a lot. I love dill. And oh my God, you put that in a vase, that whole room is gonna smell like fresh dill. Oh, it's so good. And like, that's what I love about herbs and flowers. Like it's like a universal thing. Like everybody loves flowers during times of grief, times of celebration, no matter what. And oh my gosh. Oh, and Nate, thank you, Nate. You ever just sit and think we're only here because our dads came and our moms? Yeah, Nate. Think it's pretty wild to think about. And uh, yeah, life is a dream, isn't it? Pretty trippy. So yeah, and I know I talk about like SE stuff a lot. You know, it feels kind of weird to do it, but I also just want to be an example of like a happily married woman that you know, oh, the toothache plant. This is a fun plant. You literally, I've grown this before. As soon as you bite into it, it starts to numb wherever you bit. It's amazing how well this works. That's why it's nicknamed the toothache plant. And I got it in microgreen seeds. And this is a great thing to think about if you want to invest in seeds. Microgreen seeds, sometimes it can be cheaper to get $5 worth of microgreen seeds. That'll probably be like an ounce, depending on what seed it is. It's like a better way to invest your money in seeds, especially if it's something you know you're going to grow a lot of. And then in these times, in these end of times, it's good to have a bunch of seeds saved. Man versus Hulk, I've never gotten poison ivy. And I wonder if I'm one of those people that can't get it because my mom is. My mom says she would rub it all over herself to like freak out her siblings and stuff. And like she never got it. She knew she couldn't get it. And there's this person on YouTube, he'll like eat it and says he can't get it because he eats it. But I'm like, no, some people truly can't get it though. And, oh, I've had toothache plant. It really does work great. Yes, eternal sovereignty. I like your name. I grew the most flowers this year, and some of the most simple ones are gorgeous, like forget-me-nots, alyssum. Yes, Mike. Oh, they have some forget-me-nots in here. I've grown pink and blue forget-me-nots before, and they are precious. But there isn't a flower I don't like, honestly. Like, that's what's so great about flowers. Now, I want to make more edited videos. I know it sounds kind of stupid, but I've got good ideas like philosophies, how nature, gardening, how it's like diversity is key in the garden. And like everybody loves a bunch of different flowers. Oh my God, like a good cottage garden where there's like clusters of different flowers. And nobody's ever like, why can't those daylilies look more like those irises? You know, like nobody does that. And like that's the kind of attitude we need to have like with people. My mom is not poison ivy, no. But that's funny, she was born with red hair, she has green eyes. She has, like, lighter hair than me. Beautiful woman, I don't look like her, but, and she could have been poison ivy, she had the body. Once again, I don't look like her. And we used to have some in the garden, my neighbors used to brew stinging nettle tea. Oh, that's cool, eternal sovereignty. I've heard that's, like, one of the most nutritious herbs. Like, I mean, I know it is because I looked it up when I heard it. There's a plant in Australia called the Jimpy Jimpy plant. If you get touched by it, apparently it burns for years after good times. Oh, noxious. Oh my gosh. Are you in Australia by any chance? Australia scares me. I've heard of so many things there that are just wild. I was one of those people that couldn't get it till I was 60, then I got it. Oh, that sucks, Tabit. I wonder if it like, the older we get, the less our immune system responses, right? Like after the age of 35, your immune system just goes downhill. So that's interesting to me. I wonder if that's going to happen to me. Because my husband gets it bad like once a year. He's just poor thing. He's had to go to the doctor and like get creams and stuff because it got so bad and wouldn't go away and kept spreading. And it's like, how can I be around him? And it's like getting worse on him. And of course, I try not to touch it. But, anyways, um, I know that my brother and sister got it, and then I wouldn't, and we'd all be in the same so I'm just saying, I'm Rh negative, in case anybody wanna know. I have A negative blood type, and I'm not saying I'm an alien, but I do think sometimes that it's like there's a reason why they don't talk much about negative blood types. I don't think that people are better than other people that aren't negative. My husband isn't negative, um, but we know his mom was, so we joke and we call him a hybrid. But if you didn't know what Rh negative is, it means you lack certain proteins on your red blood cells, or is it antigens? Your Rh negative, it's antigens. And then all other people do. And we're the only animal on the planet where there's some of us have positive and some of us have negative, and if we mix, then that could have a bad outcome for our baby. Isn't that interesting? Why are we the only animal on the planet that's like that? Are you sure he didn't have a venereal disease? Man versus Hulk. Oh god. Um, uh, it's not that bad as long as you stay out of the ocean, Noxious said. With the plant? I'm sorry, now I'm having trouble following. Nick Fuentes will be president one day. No. No, um, O negative, RH negative. Cool, Max the text. I honestly, like, as much as I don't like him, I think that Nick, even though I do feel like he's just as corruptible as anybody, I think he has too much of his own mind to ever be put in a position of power. Nick is too strong-willed, and I mean that in a good way. That's what I like about him. I don't listen to him anymore because he thinks that I shouldn't be a YouTuber because I have a vagina. So stupid. Women should um really think about it. You don't usually have a kid till you're 20, 30, even sometimes older. So we don't have kids for 20 or 30 years. And then you have your kids. You raise them 10, God willing, not everybody has, severely autistic kids. Like usually by the age of 12-ish, especially 14, they're pretty independent long before they're 18. Your kid is pretty independent of you, right? I don't understand this attitude of women are supposed to spend their whole entire lives when literally most of our lives we're not in that crucial stage of motherhood where we ideally are there every day. Most people want that. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? Okay, not everybody wants that, but like a lot of people that do can't do it. I'm an intergalactic biscuit. That's nice. With Australia being a risky place to be on land, there's only spiders, taipan snakes, and ticks. Or I don't know what you meant by yeah, ticks. So the ticks are so bad here. My husband told me he pulled one off our dog that was like the biggest he's ever seen. Um, the tick medication makes them, like, die. I can't think about it. Um, my blood is used to make medicine to keep women from rejecting their babies in utero. Mix the text, yes, that's Rh negative. The Rogam shot. That's so cool, Mix the text. I got that with the first 2 babies. Thank you, Man versus Hulk. I'm a single mom. I got that with the first 2 babies, and then the 3rd baby, I said no because it always made me sick, and I was like, "Look, if my baby comes out positive, then I'll get it." I made that deal with the OBGYN, and they're like, "Okay," and he came out negative, so I'm like, "Look, like, why?" And, anyways, it'll work if you get it within 48 hours. If you have a wreck or something where the blood mixes with the mom and the baby, you can get it within 48 hours. They give it to you, like, as a preventative, in my opinion, I don't know, um, it's just like one of those, these like Asian beetles, they're like the fake ladybugs. I swear this wall is like made of Asian lady beetles. Like I think they've infested. I'm not kidding. And now with these weird weather changes, they usually come out really bad when the weather's getting hot or there's like a time of year. I'm sure some of you guys know what I'm talking about. These little orange beetles that look like ladybugs. And now, they don't know what to do with this weather. It's crazy. They like keep showing up. I'm in a special program at Plasma Center making bank. Oh, Max, good for you. I'm glad to hear that. I mean, I hope it works out well for you and everything. Good for you. If I wasn't so diseased, I would look into that. I have both high risk types of HPV, both of the highest risk types of HPV. I have them both. And then I feel like, even though I had a bad tick bite and they said I didn't have Lyme's, but like I still feel like I might. I've had so many tick bites, not to be a Debbie Downer, but like I have. And I know that those tests aren't always accurate. But, anyways, but then I also wonder if my Rh negative hasn't helped in certain aspects. I was told by one person, I have good genes, I just have a congested lymphatic system. So I've been looking into fascia lately, and I know phasia, some people say that differently. It's like the layer in our body, everything. It's connected to it's like all around your organs and your muscles. It's almost like connective tissue, but it's not. Um, I don't really listen to Nick anymore, but he did do a lot for open discourse these past couple of years. He has a lot of great takes too, but for every good take, he has a shitty one. Eternal sovereignty. Yeah, I completely agree with you. I was enjoying listening to him. He seemed to be like the best, one of the best conservative commentators. And then, of course, like you can't agree with everybody. I know I'm such a bitch. Now I feel like such a bitch. I was like, if you like really agree with, if you really support Trump, like get off my page. Thank you for loving my lazy eye, Fred Gold does, and I talk about my eye all the time. So talking about fascia, that's one thing. Okay, I just saw my sister, and we're like in sync. It's so crazy. She works very hard. She's such a hard worker, and she was like telling me about her job. I can't even understand what she does. It's funny. I feel like a little kid talking to their parent or something. But one of the first things she says to me, she's like, "Have you ever heard about fascia?" And I'm like, fucking kidding me? I was just telling my husband all about how I was like listening to all these videos for a few days because I have 3 hernias, in case you didn't know. I say it like every 10 minutes. And so I'm thinking, why am I so prone to getting hernias? I haven't gotten any surgery on any of them. The third was made during my last surgery. So I'm scared to even go get them surgically repaired because if one was made during a surgery, who's to say that I'm not going to get even more during the surgeries to fix them? But, anyways, uh, so yeah, I'm interested in that. And it's kind of like, your lymphatic system, you have more lymph fluid in your body than you do blood. But did you know there's no like real lymphatic expert? There's no like doctor that specializes in the lymphatic system. Like there's a doctor that specializes in the heart and the stomach and the whatever. There's massage therapists. There's people who specialize in lymphatic massage, like lymphatic draining, but there's no like AMD with a specialty. And like we have more lymph fluid than we do blood, though. Really interesting to me. That was one thing that opened my eyes when I was like, doctors don't know a lot. And I know they know more than me, I know. But really, they don't, you shouldn't look up to them like some all knowing they know better than you in every single way, with everything. Oh, I'm sorry. Tick bites, you need high socks like a chihuahua. I have muck boots. I usually wear muck boots outside, and that tick bite, it was like on my back, like by my bra strap, like it was crazy. And it was like I didn't see how bad it was. And my husband told me, he's like, I was going to the doctor to get my ear. And he's like, "You need to show her that tick bite because it doesn't look right." And like, none of your other tick bites looked like this. And then she was like, "Yeah, I don't like it. Wasn't a bullseye rash, or maybe it was a little bit. No, it wasn't." But anyways, um, we use now it's escaping me. We use this one pesticide religiously, and, my husband said he's seen lots of possum on our property. I haven't, but we haven't seen as many ticks this year. It's ticks scare me, silent killers, as well as spiders noxious. I hear ya. Get married and have kids, please. Chase, I have. I've been married for 16 years this month, Chase, and we have 3 kids, and I have no uterus. I have problems, Ammo Entertainment said. That's unfortunate. I thought you had a cool name. Everybody swallows. Didn't understand the question. I didn't get the question. Human Garage, I have facial maneuvers on YouTube. No, thank you for saying that. So yeah, of course, that's one thing I told my sister. It's like I'm looking in the fascia because of my hernias and I want to get more in shape. And then I hesitate to do exercises because of the hernias. And then it's like some days this is really like not even noticeable. Like right now, it's better than it is sometimes. Sometimes it's like so bad. Like, and I mean, I just notice it's different and I don't care so much. Obviously, I still do YouTube when it is that bad. But I could probably show in YouTube videos how like, so what is going on where it's worse from one day to the other? And in my very first YouTube videos I made like 7 years ago, I always had a little bit of asymmetry. It was always there, but now like something's happened to make this eyelid look so much different than the other. So I am gonna start working on like doing this type of stuff, which I already was with the lymphatic stuff. But now I'm gonna like go in a little bit more because with lymphatic, it's about soft pressure. You don't want to like rub really hard. But anyways, I was raging for sure. I don't often listen to my lives, but now I feel like I need to re-listen to this. And I'm like, oh my God, if it has like 20,000 views, I'm gonna want to leave it up. But Acid Burn overall has been really nice to me. Honestly, I'm just gonna say, and he's probably still listening to it. He says a lot of stuff about like us getting married, and I don't know what's going on in his life, but like he makes me feel weird sometimes, and I don't know what to say to him. It's like some lonely guy who supposedly had like 300 girlfriends and all these babies or whatever, and I'm just like, it's just part of YouTube. I put myself out here. There's gonna be guys saying, "In a different life, we would have been married," but, like, I've told him so many times he needs to be decent. Um, Nobody knows a lot, and ones who do don't care. Savage. I'm just gonna call you Savage. Eternal Savanny, what is your diet? Like, a lot of issues can be solved with proper vitamins and minerals and making sure you can absorb these nutrients. Oh, Eternal Savanny, I'm right there with you. I don't have the best diet right now because we don't have a great income. But, I know all about, whole foods. I do eat too much sugar, I do. But like whole foods, methylated vitamins, when I do supplement with vitamins, I've had chronic low vitamin D, even when I supplemented with it. I sunbathed in Southwest Florida. Like this was like in the only tropical zone of the contiguous United States. I would sunbathe with no sunblock on my skin for a half hour, like trying to get as much vitamin D as possible. And I still was diagnosed low vitamin D. So I'm like, is there something going on with my gut too? Like I was taking supplements and sunbathing, still low vitamin D. So now I use transdermal. It's like a lotion vitamin D. And like that's one reason I like to garden so much. I feel like it's like the maximum nutrition you can get because people don't realize our soils are depleted. In the 20s, people that worked for our government said our soils are becoming depleted like 100 years ago. I'm not kidding. It's in this book I have. And so imagine what they're doing now. Like we just get less and less nutrition from the food that we eat. And that's one reason like organic food can, not always, if you get a local source of, like, good ground food, it's worth the extra money because it's literally more nutrition. But anyways, I eternal sovereignty, I'm gonna make videos on my diet. I wanna clean it up, and I wanna get back to that point where, like, when we get our tax return, I'll get a few cases of salmon, like canned salmon. And I know canned food isn't the best. The only canned stuff I eat a lot on a regular basis is like good salmon and good wild planet tuna, which once again, I know tuna, it needs to be ate sparingly. Yep, that's part of the process. Chew then swallow. This math adds up. Mind the gap said, oh, damn, sweet variable in the system, exception to the rule. Mike said always good to get a second opinion with doctors. Oh, yeah. I mean, and I just try to stay away from them now, honestly. And they like I have PCOS. They refuse to test hormones. They used to give me a panel that was called the PCOS panel. I know they refuse. It's like so you can transition people from one gender to the other, but you can't help me balance my hormones. That doesn't make any sense to me. No offense to anybody going through that, but it doesn't make any sense to me. Oh, Jay, that's sweet that you're watching with your mom. Hi, Jay, and hi, Jay's mom. I had a tick one time, but I was going through some shit, so when it bit me, it died. Oh, noxious. Man versus Hulk. I'm a sports therapist, and I know a lot about fascia. I'm probably butchering the pronunciation of it, aren't I? What is a tissue that is meant to stabilize structure? It wraps around bones, individual muscles, and bundles of muscles. In fact, there's layers. Thank you for saying that, Man versus Hulk. If you have questions about fascia, I'm willing to answer them. Okay, well, in your opinion, do you think that there anything are there fascia disorders? It would make sense. There has to be, right? Am I right to think that I might be prone to hernias because I have weaknesses in my fascia? And what could that be? And would the steps to help that be the same as muscle strength? Because I'm like, I need to strengthen my core, obviously. No, no, V. I have PCOS, I said. That's the number one cause of infertility in women. Um, And I'm saying if they can transition somebody's gender, why can't they help women with PCOS? Sorry, guys. But yeah, I am glad you are in here, Man versus Hulk. You didn't sound crazy though. Men should not be talking to you like that. I'm not simping. It's just weird. Thank you for saying that easy. I feel like I feel like I was a little too mean. Like I said, I think he's gone through a lot in his life, but then it's like, I just, oh my gosh, I don't. I agree. Ligma is the answer. Hemorrhoids, so much blood every single time I poop. Oh, orange sunrise. That's awful. I don't have any currently, but I know that that is not fun. I am yapping and yapping. It's fun. Judy Duty, you don't understand. My boy won't commit. You mean my husband of 16 years? We were just planning our 16th wedding anniversary dinner tonight. I know, it's a troll. I don't know what ligma is, noxious life. Yes, what's good? Growing your own food is ideal, and I do plan on doing that. I would love to have my own milking cow. We used to buy raw milk. I stopped doing that. I'm like, okay, so like the first time I saw their cows, I'm like, "Oh, their cows look a little skinny." And then I looked it up and it's like Jersey cows, it's like normal for them to look skinny. The cows that you get milk from aren't gonna look like the same stock you get your cuts of meat from, basically, you know? So it's like, okay, and it was always in the back of my mind. And then I was doing more research, and this lady made a really good video and like, even people that have milking cows, they have like pasteurization pot. They pasteurize it on their stove, basically. They heat it up in a pot. And there's like these special pots for it and everything. I'm like, okay, why don't any of these raw milk fanatics talk about stuff like that? It was so great because I was just starting to make, and I never gave it to my little kid, you know what I mean? Until he was old. But anyways, I would love to like make my own milk, cheese, and, yeah, my husband wants pigs. I don't know, that kinda makes me sad because 'cause I've been around pigs where it was like, I think I would bond with them. I'm not in a shed, big Chevy. I used to make videos in a shed, and then I let them come take that shed away. They came and repoed my shed, and I was furloughed from my factory job. Like, can't make these payments, $100 a month shed payment no more. True story. I have no shame because we are all in the same. I know me and my husband have always worked. We've always been as responsible as possible. I guess we could have done a better job trying to save money. Yeah, we could have, honestly. But like I I just I have no shame in admitting we're poor. The moon is made of cheese. Okay, ligma is my hemorrhoids. Oh my gosh, orange sunrise. Okay, at least we've got a different troll. Oh, hold on. I'm young and will have cancer because of it. Okay, well, if you're being honest, I'm sorry to hear that, Orange Sunrise. I'm at high risk for cancer myself. Ahoy from the Purple Mountains of West Virginia. Google isn't God. Hi, how are you? Do you follow Nate and Narrowway Homestead? I love his channel. He's one of my favorite YouTubers. See, I'm a night owl. The longer I stay up, I soon I haven't taken kratom since 7 o'clock? That's kind of amazing. You need magnesium in order to absorb vitamin D. Oh, okay. I know I've heard that. See, that's the thing. We get diagnosed with a deficiency, and like instead of giving the cofactors that normally come in nature with it, people just like say, take a bunch of that vitamin. And that's not going to work the same because in nature, usually it's with something else. And like, I know K2 now. So like years ago, they started making K2 and vitamin D3 supplements, right? Because that's what they said about that. Oh, D Silva. I studied paralegal studies, but I didn't finish. Medical stuff does suck. I should live stream my hemorrhoids for money. Orange Sunrise, there's probably some audience out there for it. I don't know how much money you would make. What do you think of the recent US invasion in Venezuela, Gamma? I think it's the start of World War III, honestly. And I mean, I say that like there's nothing we can do. I don't think Trump's there for any other reason than the oil. And then he tries to say that the oil isn't good or it's not good oil or something. It's like, yes, you were just talking about how the infrastructure is bad and you're going to get it back up and running so you can get all their oil. Like, um, I really didn't think that this would be happening, but it is what it is. Eternal sovereignty. Doctors didn't know how to diagnose fibro, and because it was mostly in women, it often goes misdiagnosed as hysteria. Yes, Eternal, definitely. Cadaver, you read all those books. I have read these books, yes. If you see a book behind me, I've read it. Now, granted, a lot of these are kind of like reference books. Okay, I haven't finished these books. Okay. These I've read, but then like this like herbal antibiotics, it's kind of like it's like an encyclopedia. But I still like going through those. Um, we have two dairy cows and way too much milk. Oh, militant, I'm jealous. That's nice. Do you mind if I ask if you pasteurize it, or are you just like, since you control all of it, you don't worry as much? Because that's what I was saying. Like, I drank so much raw milk from like several different farms, and then I don't know why it started to make me anxious, and I'm like, I'm trusting people with an awful lot because I am, right? Um, Please, 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 orange sunshine, stop staring, Alan said. Well groomed, win at life, girl. Oh, hello, kitty. Admitting to giving your children unregulated substances is really gross. Ashy wee. Well, like I just said, I didn't give it to my kid until he was after I didn't give it to them under the age of 6 because like I really felt like, the younger they are, the more prone they are to everything. And I was honest with their pediatricians about it. Pediatrician. There's only been one since I started giving him that. But yeah, I wouldn't consider that unregulated substance, but I'd rather give my kids raw milk than a lot of the shit people give their kids that are regulated sitting on shelves. I hate to sound so judgmental, but it's the truth. There's a lot worse that a parent can give than raw milk, like juicy juice. No offense to anybody, like we buy juicy juice sometimes. I'm just saying. Say pasteurize again. Pasteurize. Am I saying it funny? Yogurt too. Yeah, and then like yogurt, no, I don't take SSRI's name. There used to be a good website, and I don't think it's up anymore, where it was like a lot of mass shooters, and then like it was basically saying SSRIs are linked to that. I thought that was very interesting. Every good woman should have a pig out back. What's your totem around for a trailer? What's your totem around? I don't get that. Stop sharing my bloody okay. Anyways, I I just can't say bye. There are many fascia disorders. Weak fascia can be the cause of hernias. The key to repair is collagen and isometric core exercises for stomach hernia. Surgery may be needed. Yeah, so when I got a scan and I had a consultation with a surgery doctor, he said but one is bigger since then. This was years ago. It wasn't as bad as it could be, and I really wasn't at high risk of it incarcerating, like, where it twists and you can die from it. And he's like, "You don't have to get this fixed as long as you don't lift really heavy shit, and if you lift heavy shit and it gets worse, then it's bad." And, I didn't have health insurance at the time, so that's probably one reason he was giving me that advice too. And he was like, "Oh, yeah, you have another one because just one poked out." And he's like, "You have one on the left side too, it just doesn't show." I'm like, "Okay." So I didn't even know. And those are inguinal hernias. So it's just interesting to me. I have like these more okay, last question, man versus Hulk. Is it possible my hormones have anything to do being hormonally imbalanced? I mean, I'm sure it's possible that could affect it, right? I hate people so sad. People like this talk for no reason. Gosh, Julian, what a nihilistic comment to put in a random YouTube live. Having a job makes you 10% of the population. Congrats on being the working class upholding this country. Hello Kitty said. Oh, Hello Kitty. 10% of the population? Really? That can't be right. He means SSREs. I don't get that militant prepping. No, I'm married to a man. I don't I'm not bi or anything like that. She isn't on SSRI, so she's cool, militant prepping said. Not that there's anything wrong with being, on anything like that, but I it okay. I have videos about all over the place tonight. Chris Watts, if you didn't know who that is, he unalived his whole family, pregnant wife and children, and I think more people were involved, but I definitely think he needs to rot, and he was involved too. He was taking something that an MLM company sells, which works like an MAOI in the brain. And this is something you wear as a patch on your skin. And it's like before SSRIs were the number one thing used, when it comes to depression, anxiety, most commonly prescribed ailments, for ailments. MAOIs were used before SSRIs, and it's just really interesting. It's like the MAOIs, "Oh, we don't like all these side effects, we don't like," and that's why I just feel like it's just like the same cycle keeps repeating, and then the SSRIs, and then they realize like, "Oh, like here are some bad side effects," and, um, but anyways, my buddy's shed got repoed too, don't feel bad. To be fair, I didn't like miss a bunch of payments. I just called them and said, I can't pay for this anymore. So I was kind of being funny when I said repoed. They knew I'm done with this shit. Okay. And if you did hear that, yes, I did just fart. My husband's always like, "Don't tell me." Like, I didn't know. I wouldn't have known if you didn't bring attention to. Real tweaker hours on the inbred homestead. Oh, Ash, you just reminded me. Horrible news. We found out one of our fucking neighbors is on the fucking sex offender registry now. And they weren't when we moved in there. This just happened a few months ago. My psychic husband just had a feeling to check the sex offender registry for some reason. And then it's like I read that inbred comment because honestly, we have a nickname for them. We call them the inbreds. I know that's mean. I know it's mean. We're Kentuckians. We're allowed to call other Kentuckians inbred. Okay. They're the one bad apples on the street. They're the one people we knew we had to look out for. Yeah, because you can judge a book by its cover sometimes. And I've said that before. If you buy land in Kentucky, absolutely judge the covers of the books, meaning don't buy land near somebody with a bunch of junk. And I don't want to go into detail. They're not on they're very close. Okay. The point is, it's very disappointing now. And like, my kid likes to go exercise, and I had to tell him, and like, he is very strong. He's like one of the strongest kids in his weightlifting class. Like, I don't, but I still worry about him, and then my 8-year-old, my vulnerable, he's never outside by himself, never, no, I would never let that kid outside out of my sight, but still, it still pisses me off that we live near somebody that is on the sex offender registry now. So, yeah, um, uh I missed a lot of comments. I'm sorry, guys. Just a reminder, Revelation is real. I know you can see the world is going nuts. Jesus is coming soon. Yes, Ace, you're right. It is the end of times for sure. I drank raw milk when I was a kid. We had two Jersey cows. We never got sick from it. Oh, cool, Bill. That's so nice. You're really blessed to grow up like that. Can't we love each other and everyone have peace in the world for a day? I wish, Cookie Monster. I wanted after all this stuff, I almost if you guys don't know it, in living color, if you're a young man, search list of sex offenders who are females for a date. Pan versus Paul. Thanks for the $5. Now I completely lost my train of mind. You totally made me lose my train of mind. Yeah, I'm pretty sure my earbud cancels out noise, so like I don't think you guys would hear a toot. Like it wouldn't. Imbalanced amounts of hormones such as estrogen can affect the fascia. High levels of estrogen makes your fascia flexible. Low levels of estrogen makes your fascia stiffer. Do you know do you know what estrogen would be best? Because like I said, they don't test my hormones. They just said, "Oh, your periods are normal, so that means your hormones are fine." But like no, and like this is why people like to troll me and talk about me being trans because I'm so real and I talk about all my shit. I have like a beard. My facial hair keeps getting worse and worse, so clearly my hormones aren't balanced, even though I was like a clock. And now I have no uterus. So how do I know if I have no periods? Estriol is what I have right now. And it's funny because look, they make this. This is a shit us women have to go through. It's like face cream. It tells you to put it on your face, but then like doctors recommend to never put it above your waist. So there's that. We have products on the market. I swear they do this shit on purpose too. They've done this shit on purpose. They know that hormones and balanced hormones are so crucial and so vital. And I think the elite class, they have like a tier of medical like that we'll never have where they use all the good herbs and adaptogens and like um they'll test their hormones and get them in tip top shape. But after my surgery, I felt like I needed some estrogen. I'm not going to go into details. Had nothing to do with my down there. I'm just, I don't know. Maybe I'll just say it since I tell you guys everything else anyway. If you're a woman, you know what it's like when you are coming up on your cycle and your boobs get a little bit bigger. That wasn't happening, and I was like, "Am I having less estrogen? Because what's the deal?" And so I know that sounds really lame. See, I tell you guys everything. But you'll always know, like, I don't. Oh, Shaquille. Hey, how are you, Shaquille? Yes, Man versus Hulk. If you're in young man search list of sex offenders who are females. Although I know you're joking, but I would think a lot of those are perverts. Like kids. Pineapples are a thing. How do you feel about that? Huh? What do you mean, Neon Vortex? So, you know, estrogens and phytoestrogens are bad. Yes, orange sunrise. And I definitely think that that is part of my hormone imbalance, it's all this stuff in the environment. I had IV chelation. If you don't know what that is, they put chemicals through your bloodstream to take out heavy metals, lead, mercury, cadmium. I had like antin my dog just turned the Christmas tree on. That's so funny. Antimony, I think that's what it's called. They're like, "This is kind of rare. Were you around welding?" Like, yeah, actually, I was in my grandparents' basement. My grandpa, we weren't in his shop, but you know, like we would play a lot in this basement. I'm sorry, my dog is right by this candle. I don't feel comfortable. If you turned the lights on, you could knock this candle over. But yeah, I like to talk about everything I talk about because I know I'm not the only one, you know? Mind, I always say people that beat addiction are the strongest people we'll know. Keep it up. Oh, yes. Let's see. Who said what? I want to see what. Yeah, I work a program of recovery. Oh, good for you, Mind the Gap. Um, inbound. Okay, I already read that. Oh, you guys are so sweet telling Mind the Gap. Good job. I love that. Jersey cow is the best. Yeah, if you guys don't know, if you are lactose intolerant, you might do better with, oh my God, no. A, it's like the A protein. I am blanking. Jersey cow milk, and now I'm forgetting there's a kind of milk they sell in stores now. It's got a big A on it. But yeah, that's the whole point is like Holstein cows, I think it's like B, whatever, the protein, the main protein is different. And Jersey cow milk is better. It's creamier. If you're into milk, you really need to get that. Anyways. GLP-1s, militant prepping. I was just watching this girl talk about this venomous lizard, and I guess a lot of lizards are venomous, but only two are like really venomous. Like a lot of lizards have a little lizards venom. Like, it's amazing. Antimony is used for weapons like rockets and explosives, militant prepping said. Oh, that's interesting. I figured it was like in the soldering or something. Like, it just asked me if I was ever around soldering, like welding stuff, you know? And so, okay, thank you for saying that. I got the IV chelation, and what was I gonna say? That was horrible. I used to solder just so I could inhale the fumes. Got black mold and asbestos in my carpet and my walls. My thyroid is the size of seven hemorrhoids. You are a trip orange sunrise. Lizards are poisonous, not venomous. There's some lizards have venom when they chew. And, I didn't know this until the A2 milk, thank you, it has beta cases. Okay, thank you, Militant Prepper. That is the milk is like, they sell it in half-gallon cartons, and it's, like, red and white, and it says A2 on it. Oh, it's so good. That's, like, my favorite milk from the store, but even and we just get plain old milk lately, but, like, organic milk from Walmart is better. I just, like ah, you guys are making me want some milk. Like, I like the creamiest possible. And I've always been like this. I've always like I could live off of milk. And my husband's like, "How can you just drink a big glass of milk?" I like your eyes. I like your nose. I like your smile. Oh, that's so nice, hot nerd. Thank you. Um, but yeah, and he does drink milk sometimes, but he doesn't love it. Like he doesn't have to have it every day like I do. Well, yeah, this has been can you say my name? Alfonso? Hi, Alfonso. Chocolate milk is good. You're a milk enjoyer, militant. Well, yeah, you better be with those cows. But yeah, I'm sure not everybody that has milk cows drinks a lot of it though. Like I don't eat eggs a lot. We still get eggs from our chickens. I don't eat eggs because when I was pregnant, I ate so many eggs, and I swear I'm like done. Oh, John, want to see me in person? I go through a gallon a week, Shane said. We go through 2 at least, but, that's 4 people. The red box organic milk is good and it lasts long. Yeah, easy. I really like Walmart's organic milk. I've had other brands that, like, I didn't think were as good as Walmart's organic. Raw milk is good. It made, 5.5 feet to 6'3" in 2 years. Oh, wow, hot nerd. That's cool. Did you like the video? If not, nobody cares. Mind the Gap said. Snake venom goes for 1,000 to 14,000 a vial. Yeah, I like to watch people that keep snakes. Like, I wouldn't want a snake myself, but I just think it's so interesting. Militant prepping, I feel you. We get like 4 dozen a day from the chickens, and I really don't like eggs. I would like quail eggs. I see that's how stupid I am when it comes to the miniatures. I love little things so much. I seriously think I know I'm dumb. I know it's dumb. I think I would eat more eggs if I had these little tiny eggs. I'm gonna be like, oh, they're so cute. In Australia, cow milk is the best drink you can have. Yeah, you live in Australia, hot nerd? That's funny. Somebody in here mentioned something about Australia. I don't know if they were Australian, but we were talking about how crazy it would be, or it is there. There's crazy shit there. I I'm fine with the like three venomous snakes we have. We've got a few like nothing major though. Like when you really look into it, I mean, high slum. This woman is a Pokemon scalper. Do not trust her. I just donated my Pokemon shirt the other day because I felt like a poser. I'm like, I don't know anything about Pokemon, and I have the shirt, and like, I'm trying to get rid of clothes that like I don't wear. Irish milk is the best. That's interesting, Greg. Well, you guys, it was fun talking to you. No, I'm married. Sorry. I always like get paranoid I'm gonna have something hanging out my nose. Well, once again, the Amish should be in charge of our FDA. Trust the Amish. Oh, Joshua, I have a lot to say about that. They're just like everybody else, so I wouldn't say that necessarily. Okay, I do think there's probably more good people per capita than the regular population, but you give them a bunch of power, I think they get just as corrupt and say and do the, things that people were paying them to do did. Every time I see an Amish person, I think a good thought for them, and I hope they're, like, in a good situation, you know, because I think there has to be, like, the best life that somebody could grow up and live in the best situation, or it's, like, really isolating. Oh, you guys! Oh my gosh, hold on, I wanna talk about something else real quick. If you're interested in the Amish, there's this woman called Laura in Amish country. And I was about to make this little shorts about her because I don't have a problem with this, but I find it to be super interesting that there is a woman putting on those Google Meta glasses. In my opinion, she's not telling people she's filming them, and she's going to all these like Amish businesses. She's built quite a channel over the last few months doing it. And she'll like say like hell yeah and stuff like I'm she says, "Oh, baby," a lot in front of them. It's like, okay, that's not that bad, you know? She'll be like, "Oh, baby, this tastes so good." But like she knows what she's doing too, you know? But then when she says the hell yeah, and this one time she's like, "Hell yeah." The only long form video on her channel, she says hell yeah to this teenage Amish girl twice. And it's like, the filming them, I don't but it's also kind of funny to me, I'm sorry, I don't care that much, but I could understand why some people might say it's unethical. She, like, took this tour of this pretzel making place, and it was, like, this woman you could because they can't they can be quite offstandish, okay? They're either, like, the nicest people in the fucking world or, like, they're the most offstandish. Like, they obviously don't want you around. Like, think about it. Think about the way they live. It kinda makes sense, you know? And, like, this woman was one of the latter. And this chick's like, "Oh, is that where they get the flavor?" And she's like, "They get the flavor from cooking." And it was a little sassy. Maybe it wasn't that serious, but you could just tell this woman had had it, and maybe she had a feeling she was being recorded or something. So yeah, I wouldn't ever do that. I don't think it's too proper. The way the Amish have treated me, I don't care who goes into their businesses with glasses. So I'm like, do I want to make a video about this? I thought it was funny seeing a woman say hell yeah. To of course, she would probably do that only to a teenage girl. I don't know if she would do that in front of, like, a person her age that might be like, "Please don't say that," or like, "Get out of my business." I don't think they would though, you know what I mean? I'm sure they've heard the word hell before, but, if you wanna if if people are so interested in the Amish, it's a really good way to get up close and personal with them if you don't have the, communities near you either. Laura in Amish country, tons of shorts. I had no idea, apparently in Lancaster, they make a shit ton of pretzels, the Amish up there. I don't know how many pretzels one place could one place could have, sell. I'm sorry. Now I'm getting a little loopy, not because I'm on drugs, because it's late. They had an Amish lady that had a cooking channel on YouTube. Yes, I've seen her. She's lovely. I believe she's left them. You know what I mean? Like she dresses for like them, but I might be wrong. I see the lack. Oh, I already read that earlier. You came back. That Amish lady that cooked, she was so good. Look, her name's on the tip of my tongue. I do know who you're talking about. I said, hell no, heavens yes, Bill said. Sebastian, hey, how are you, Sebastian? They wouldn't be forcing you to get vaccinated soon, Joshua said. Um, yeah, that's true. No, I'm all about like they're right about not trusting the government. They were right. Look at where we are now. They did have the forethought to be like the shit isn't going to go well. And I don't know if you I'm a quarter Swiss. The Amish were started by a Swiss group of people, right? Isn't like Schwarzenegger? I'm pretty sure I should know this. But yeah, it just kind of makes sense. You know much about Swiss people. There'd be like some group of Swiss people. Just be neutral, and go farm on their own. Unfortunately, a lot of Amish don't farm. You think that they all have farms, like, it's not like that. It used to be more like that, and unfortunately, it's not. When I was a kid, like 16 or 17, one of my jobs was driving Amish guys around where we lived in Maryland. Oh, that's so cool, militant prepping. I'd like to hear about that. Was it fun? Or, like, did you make friends with them, or did you just do it as a job? You didn't really mingle? I liked the Amish from that movie, Witness. The Witness, yes, Joshua, that's a really good movie. You ain't read none of those books, Mike said. Yes, I have. I talk about this shit all the time. Okay, do still need to read We. This is like such an easy book. And the he and she book, they're like falling apart. Look at these. Do these bindings look like books that, I don't know if you can see that, haven't been read? And I know somebody else could have done this, but do you like underline? You know what I mean? Like I did that. So I had the he and she, and I know I told myself this year I'm gonna start a schedule and I'm gonna do a book day every week. And I'm gonna read the we. The Amish are not anti-technology. They want to avoid things that cause sin and division in family. Yes, man versus Hulk. So cults to consciousness, I know I'm always bringing up like negative shit, but like it's just like a lot of them aren't the things that happen in their communities aren't always so on the up and up. I learned a lot of carpentry from them. Oh, that's valuable, militant. That's good. I'm looking for a freaky chat. This is sometimes real twins, but I think you missed all the freaky stuff. Already got done talking about me and my husband of 16 years sex life and my no longer sore and gored boobs. You guys all know I'm joking. You know I'm joking. I don't. My great 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 grandfather started some church in Switzerland and came to the USA. We're probably related. Oh, Orange Sunrise, that's funny. Um, uh, read the catechism. You- Oh, okay. Is it that different people saying the same thing? No, that's funny. That's kind of funny. Is that a bot? Book backs are meant to be cracked. Pages are meant to be scribbled. Luke said. Amish share their woman like Mormon goats. Oh, I don't know about that, Aria. I just have heard on the cults to consciousness a lot of people who left. And once again, there are people that came from great families where this didn't happen at all. So I'm not saying it like it happens all the time, but um Like, just horrible stories, and young girls getting impregnated by family members. They didn't even know what was going on in their body. And then they had the baby was taken away from them and adopted out into another community. How many times do things like this happen? And none of us know. Nobody knows but the people in their community, and they're really good about keeping it on the hush hush. So once again, I'm not trying to paint a picture like every single Amish person does things like this, but these are the kind of things that happen in the communities. And I'm gonna say somebody that has to live, like, almost not every time, 50% of the time I leave my house, maybe that sounds like a lot. Very often, at least once a week, there's a horse and buggy. There's a lot of Mennonites that ride the bicycles. The other night, it was midnight. I'm barely ever out at midnight. And there was somebody on a bicycle, 55-mile-per-hour road with the flashing light. If you've never come up on a horse and buggy going 55 miles an hour on a dark country road, that your brain can't make sense of what you're seeing because it's unlike anything else you've ever seen. I worry so much about my 16-year-old. So much. I'm like, please don't go faster than 45. Please, whatever you do, you don't want to be responsible. Always a young kid. When one of them gets hurt or killed, it's like it seems to often be a young driver. And I'm like, you don't want that on your conscience the rest of your life. Like, where I'm going with that is like, honestly, as somebody that has to deal with it, I never want to live near them ever again. It's kind of a hassle. And I saw these little girls in a pony cart several times. It was like every time I went to work, I saw these girls in a pony cart. Couldn't have been more than 3, 4 feet wide. Once again, 55-mile-per-hour road. And I'm like, please, God, please take care of those girls. You know, it's funny. I'm like in the car and I'm like praying for the Amish girls because it's just insane. A pony cart. Yeah, just it's just so flimsy and little, and one little pony pulling it. And I don't think that should be legal. And it wouldn't be legal if any of the rest of us did it. And it's just, I know I sound awful. Oh, I'm not going to be able to read that Man versus Hulk. Gonna make me want to translate it, though. I hope it's worth my time. They drink, fall asleep, and the horse brings them home. Greg Anderson, yes. Have you guys seen there's like this guy at a gas station on a horse. He's clearly a little drunk, and he's like telling people at the gas station how you can't get DUI on a horse. And in the comment section of that video, I learned that fact that like cowboys used to, get drunk and their horses would take them, or at least take them to the stable, right? Maybe not take them all the way home, like to the house. Horse and buggies are great for those that are concerned about global warming, right? Oh, Joshua, yeah, but then you see just the little bit you have to deal with, how much horse shit comes. There's horse shit all over the street, like all over almost all the time. I guess that sounds like a lump. There's a lot of horse shit. They shit so much. And then you realize why, like, when they used to be the main form of transportation, why there was like steps in some of these ancient ruins and stuff, like a foot off the ground, so you could walk over the horse shit. You know what I mean? It's just like in a human waste too, but like waste everywhere. That's yeah, that's what I think about. The end. Doesn't that unfortunately happen in all communities? Unfortunately, yes, the end. Yes. So I'm not trying to say they're any worse than anybody. They're just like anybody else. Like the same bad shit happens. You know what I mean? And so many people seem to think that they're like all pious and nothing like that happens. And they don't realize how they don't get the law involved. Like they don't believe in contacting law enforcement. And like, I'm not trying to say 100% of the time, but and so you grow up in a community where people don't even teach you what's going on with your own body. And anyways, cults to consciousness. If you're interested in anything like that, so many people, and they're like the loveliest people, the people that get out of that. Can you imagine how strong you would have to be to grow up like that, leave that kind of life, and then like go into the world? It's just amazing. Have your babies at home. I had one at home, kitty. Horse and buggies are I already read that. Blah. Growing up where they are around is something we are made aware of. I don't know what you mean by that. The end? I know too much. Horses are very smart and spiritual animals. Yeah, Joshua, they are special. They really are. Drinking and riding is dangerous. Yeah, I'm sure it is ancient. I've I heard a story where there was a guy, I swear I heard, or my husband told me, an Amish guy did get DUI in his horse and buggy, because like on a horse is different than the buggy, and he was drunk and something happened. Would rather have horse shit than potholes. I just Spaced out, how do you want to elope in Venezuela with me? We can build Legos on our honeymoon. I have a Millennium Falcon in a box. That's funny, Space Doho. I have a husband. Horseshit is manure good for the farmers. Oh, I didn't know that it was good manure. I mean, any shit can be manure if you like compost it long enough, but I don't know that. It's like full of tetanus. All horseshit is full of tetanus. I just thought it has a lot of diseases, or it can be. I know, any shit. They shit a very small amount, just like you drop massive turds. Anybody that's been around horses long enough knows what I'm talking about. Like, you can tell when a horse and buggy has gone down the street because it's just like, fucking 10 yards of shit. Okay, I think I've done enough. See, it's like people like to call me Emily Blunt. Is that supposed to be a troll? Because like I looked up Emily Blunt because so many people say it in my chat, and it's an obvious troll. It's weird. Like I I thought she was pretty. I didn't think I looked like her, but I don't think that's like a dig to say I look like Emily Blunt. So I don't get it. I mean, maybe you guys are you really do think that, Mind the Gap? It's something people say a lot. I guess I need to look her up more, because from what I remember, I'm like, that can't be an insult, right? Because why would that be an insult? Who's your favorite character? I don't know. What is LOTR? Lord of the Rings? I never watched that. I have the attention span I can be on here for 3 hours, but I can't watch a 3 hour movie. You know what I mean? It's called RUI, Writing Under the Influence, Joshua said. Oh, I just realized I didn't have my black light on this whole time. That bums me out. I had this great live. Besides, oh well, whatever. Oh, and I didn't have my candle. Oh my gosh. And this thing is always like, obviously. Oh, no. Need to go. I really need to go. Girl, I drank a whole bottle of magnesium sulfate. Oh. I have been squirting water for hours. I hope it stops soon. Okay, I swear to God. I was just gonna say, I hope you don't have the shits, and then I read that. Um, okay, that thing is, I need to glue that one of these days. September 17th, Bern, Bern, Switzerland. That's pretty funny. You put Bern, Switzerland there, orange sunrise. That's where my family's from. That's funny. I so pale lady, Kansas said. Maybe he meant like you are blunt how you speak. Like, oh, that's a good point. But I'm saying it's something that I've seen a dozen times from like different screen names. It's like I feel like there's like a 4chan, not to give myself too much credit, because I the one time I saw I had a bunch of activity from 4chan, and this was like 5 years ago when I was like getting into YouTube the last time, and I was making video on the carnivore diet. This one carnivore diet guy. I believe in the carnivore diet. I mean, um, it's a compliment. Okay, thank you. Well, that's nice, because I was blowing people off because I just kept thinking that they thought that they were, it was like calling me trans or something. I'm like, I don't get it. You can yap for 3 hours but not watch The Lord of the Rings. I know, agent. That's what I just said. I get it. I know. See, it's different to interact with you guys. Um, do you know what it's like to like read a paragraph or read a page in a book and be like, wait, what did I just read? I think we've all been there, right? But that's how I am with like visual media. I've gotten so used to podcasts, and like I had that factory job for 18 months where I listened to things for 10 hours straight. You know what? I always have to be listening to something, and it is bad. And I do need to use these less. Thank you, Mind. Braveheart is 3 hours long movie. Oh, I do like Braveheart, Greg. I didn't realize that was 3 hours long. Well, thanks for saying that, Greg, because I've watched Braveheart a few times. That is a great movie. So you made a good point. If I can watch that, and I think maybe I could even watch that now. I just feel like my attention span has gotten worse. Peter, I am live, yes, but I'm getting ready to go. I really am. I know I say that a lot. I'm sure they were appropriate and respectful, unfortunately. I was like, "Oh, shit." And then I'm like, "Whatever," you know? But this guy I made the video on, he was the real weird. I need to go to bed. I just laughed too loud. Okay, I just feel bad, we live in these walls are so thin. I'm on a water slide while watching. Oh, I your iPods die, you definitely know. You don't look like Emily Blunt. Emily has a man jaw. That's interesting, man. Versus Hulk. I've been told I look like so many different people that just have, like, light skin and, like, brunettes with like, I've been told I look like Shannon Doherty. I know I don't. I've been told I look like Winona Ryder. I know I don't. I've been told I look like now I can't think. Oh, Gia? Sorry, no, I don't. It's funny. Traco, I love your vibe. Can I be your vibe raider? Christopher, what's the 4chan story? Oh, I just said like you can see your analytics on YouTube, and sometimes you see where you get some traffic from or where people are posting your links. And one video I made had a lot of stuff going on from 4chan, and it was this guy named he has a weird name. People call him Severage, but that's really not what it is. He goes by Sverige, which is the Swedish word for Sweden. It's so weird. No, he's not Swedish. But anyways, this guy eats like raw meat. He used to like eat squirrels in front of vegan cafes and stuff like that. And I just made a video on how he looked like Lucky in Kentucky. He doesn't have, good practices. He would, like, eat raw dairy, which is fine, but, like, don't eat liver, uncooked liver with your fingers, and then stick your fingertips in the raw butter and then put it in your mouth. That's the kinda shit that he would do that I was just, like, cringing, and I have the videos up. Oh, I started to say something earlier about my Chris Watts videos. Basically, like, um stuff that affects stuff in your brain really is hardcore. You might be putting something in your body that you don't even know affects your brain, like that it was supposed to lose weight. It helps you lose weight, and it was this patented thing that works in the brain. So the way that you burn weight works in the brain. And the more I researched it, it made perfect sense. And it works better in males than females, which makes perfect sense. Because Chris Watts was dropping all this weight, but his wife was like, why am I not getting the same results? But anyways, I know. I'm not everybody's cup of tea, but you guys really don't understand how much I love having a YouTube channel, and I feel like I take it for granted. I have so much edited content. I'm making that autism video where this autistic as fuck guy here on YouTube, so there's no such thing as profound autism. That's just intellectually disabled people. And I no, no, we're not gonna let these, and I get it. They need help too. I don't mean that like I don't want to be dismissive of people that struggle every day. um, but yeah, I'm really, really looking forward to completing that. Liver King, what happened to that guy? Oh, Greg. He's still out there, right? Hi, Anthony. How are you doing? He'd fit right in with the hill folk of Appalachia. Okay. What days are you online? Good night. Oh my gosh, Peter, I need to make a schedule. I promise. I'm gonna get my shit together. I do members only Mondays every Monday around 8 to 9 p.m. But I know not everybody's gonna get a membership, and I'm not trying to get you to do that. But I really am gonna make regular lives, I promise. I need to do that. Radio tip, fondling hair. No, there's more to shit, can't find word. It's just not right. What is going on? I'm not really tired or really high, Agent oh 07. I just like talking to you guys. Okay. Autism is intellectually disabled. It changed in the DSM-5. The end. Okay, so this guy is trying to say People that are lower functioning autism are the only intellectually disabled ones. And him and all people that aren't what you would consider profound autism, they are not intellectually disabled. And it is really interesting what is considered a disorder or I can never remember the other word. You know, even experts consider it different things. It's just really interesting how all over the place we are with autism. And I think he's basically, he doesn't want to be put into the same category with people that are called retards sometimes by other people, you know, which is really interesting with somebody that's like functions differently and understands what it's like to be different in certain levels. And uh, my son, who is nonverbal, I don't consider him intellectually disabled in that way that that guy was trying to say. Like, yes, the most profoundly autistic people, if you're like in a catatonic state, of course you're going to be intellectually disabled. It's so unfortunate, but there are kids that are like literally in catatonic states. Okay, they're so like locked into their own little worlds, and they all they do is rock back and forth and STEM and stuff. That's it's how do you not want to like help those people? And instead, it's like. Um, his whole thing is we can't lump those people in with the rest of the autistic people because that's not autism. That is not autism. That is intellectual disability. Really super interesting to me. I didn't know till his content that the first person diagnosed with autism actually went on to become like a lawyer and a professional and stuff. This was like Canner in the 1800s. I did not know that. That was super duper interesting to me. But let's be real, like we all know when most people think of like a classically autistic person, you know, you're not thinking about like somebody that went to law school. I'm sorry. And I know that oh my gosh, here we go. It's a big conversation to have. That's definitely possible, but the people that are higher functioning to say that there's no such thing as profound autism. That's not autism. That is intellectually disabled. Like, wow. Um, anyways, my son is autistic and nonverbal, 5 years old, but he responds to directions I give him, so he isn't Kevin, my son is very similar. He's 8. He can follow directions. He is saying a lot of words now at the age of 8, so hang in there. And my other boys, you know, I don't talk about them a lot because it just feels weird, but this isn't our first rodeo. Let's just say that. So yeah, he's definitely the most autistic child in the family. But yeah, he's spelling out dinosaur when he was 4 years old. He spells out some pretty big words and like, yeah, of course, I'd rather have my kid talking than doing stuff like that. But you know, it's like you know that he's in there and he's learning. I mean, they're just on a different pace, you know. I think of Sean Penn from the movie with Tom Cruise. Mind. I thought profoundly autistic means savant status like Mozart. Oh, Christopher. It means different things to different people. Profoundly autistic means severe to me. Like it can be Mozart. It can. If it severely affects you and your socializing, your communication, your self-care, it can still be profound. You know what I mean? You could be a verbally, profoundly autistic person. When I think of autism, I think of people who struggle to communicate or show emotions. When I think of intellectually disabled, I think of Trump. Thanks for that, agent. I shouldn't laugh. Thank you. I have 5 older children who are all on non-autistic. That's cool, Kevin. Hi, my name is Pradeep. Hi. Thus, Dasita Pradeep. Can I ask you something? Are you from India? Because one subject I'm looking into is how one family, one name, Patel, this Indian family, Patel, owns 60 to 80% of our motels here, and something similar with the gas stations. You guys have noticed. You've noticed it, right? And I love Indian people. I love Indian people. My grandpa lived in India for a few years. I have nothing against Indian people, so I don't mean it. Don't call me a racist because I'm calling out the fact that one surname owns most of our motels. That's pretty crazy. Isn't that crazy? Patel? Patel got that shit on lockdown, agent said. And when I looked it up, of course, there's like Reddit threads about this. You know, it's been a known thing for years. And they supposedly they're not related at all. That's what some people are saying. It's a most common surname, but like one of the reasons why they're using it so much is something about tax purposes, so they can, like, write it off to somebody that's a family member, and it doesn't necessarily have to be, they just put that same name on it, and this was a Reddit thread, I have no idea, I don't do any of this shit. But 60 to 80% of our motels, and then they say things in articles about, like, they know what to do, they know how to take care of motels. Have any of you been in a motel anytime lately? I don't think any of these motel experts are, like, experts in anything. I'm sorry. They're not trying to do anything. I'm sorry. We lived in hotels a few times in the last few years because we sold a house and, that was our choice. I'm just saying. We were in a lot of hotels when we were looking all over Kentucky for our property. It's your birthday, Alfonso. Happy birthday, Alfonso. Why do you think so many are being diagnosed with autism? Oh, real McCoy. Well, I think there's multiple reasons. I think, greater awareness is part of it, but I definitely think there's an increase, unfortunately. And I talk about this a lot, and I think autism is kind of like a catch-all. It's just a group of symptoms with a label thrown on it that could be other things. So I'm not saying this about all autistic people at all. I just wonder. I think I'm brain damaged, okay? So I'm not trying to like hurt anybody's feelings here. I just wonder, like, brain damage can also be what gives some or a lot of these symptoms, which then get subjectively labeled with something. And I'm not trying to hurt anybody's feelings, just trying to, like, I've sat around and thought about why my son is so different. And yeah, Patel is a very common Indian name. And then you got Patella, which there's only two families in Portugal, and I'm part of it. Oh, cool. Thank you for saying that, North. That is what I saw, that Patel is very common. You need to meet my therapist who is married to an Indian who they all own hotels. He tells me almost every session. I mean, I just okay, this is how I'm just gonna say how I feel about it. I just wish that us Americans, like American-born Americans, could have the same opportunities to have businesses. I just feel like there's something unfair going on, that it's like easier. And I do believe they're more business minded, like, and good on them. But I just think that it's pretty crazy to think about how most motels and gas stations are owned by, I get it, they're not necessarily related, the same surname. That's crazy. From a country like India with billions and billions of people, I wonder how many people there have Patel as a last name. Thank you, Michael. There were more Patels in my high school than Smiths, Mike said. That's funny. 671. Hi, Justin. Hey, Misery says brain damage I have. Well, you're in good company. And the thing with neuroplasticity is, like, it's amazing. We can overcome so many things that happen to our brains. And I think the brain is never going to be understood in our lifetimes. I have the autism catch-all diagnosis. My son is very autistic and I don't know how to help him. I feel so lost. Oh, Kevin. But that's a hard age and you're dealing with that. I know. It's like when you're really, not to lay it on thick, but it's like when you're really thinking, is he always going to be like this? Like you're kind of hoping it was just like a later developing toddler thing. And then you're like, oh shit, is he ever going to talk? Is he ever going to? And 5 is fine to not be potty trained, but you're just thinking, is he ever going to meet these milestones? And just not that I'm the expert, even though my dad did write books on autism. I did grow up hearing about autism, and it's interesting. I ended up with my children, but like I just not that you asked for advice. I constantly narrate. I just talk to him like if he was an adult I was talking to about trying to teach something, and that's easy for me. I don't think that's hard for you guys. I'm a talker. It's easy for me to talk, 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 talk. And I had somebody that evaluated him said, I don't think he'd be as good if you weren't doing what you're doing. And I'm like, I really don't do like therapy type things. I mean, I try to be consistent. I think it's like consistency is and routine is so key. But and I'm sure you've tried the pictures. We have the little like picture schedule thing. Spray fruit and vegetables down spine and belly button for max nutrition. But, yeah, Kevin, I've got, there's like the sensory, oh god, of course I don't have it here. There's a really good book about sensory things. I'm sure you probably heard of it, or you probably heard all about sensory things, but you come up with like And then there's all sorts of diets, and I'm not trying to tell Kevin to do this with his child because I don't know his situation, but this is a GAPS diet. This woman, she's a doctor, Dr. Natasha Campbell. Look at this. Treatment for autism, dyspraxia, ADD, ADHD, dyslexia, depression, schizophrenia. I'm not saying that this would cure any of it, but this woman has had a lot of success. A lot of what's going on is environmental, I feel like, but I'm not saying that about everybody. And and with that, I mean, like, it could be a deficiency. I feel I was low vitamin D when I got pregnant with this kid. I feel like that might be part of his issue. And then he's had dental issues that don't make any sense. So I think it's definitely in our case, like some kind of mineral or vitamin deficiency. Okay. This is like the longest I've ever stayed on alive. I looked up what Patel means after guessing that it could have something to do with father after using the law of interchangeable letters, and it means leader of the village. Yes, Mike. Yes, I did see that. Isn't that interesting? Or like landowner. Did you see that? It was like landlord or leader of the village. So that's interesting. They're over here owning 80% of the motels. And like I said, I think they're like great people, but it's just it's almost like they've set up our country to like be great for everybody else. I know I sound like such a spoiled American bitch. Clarence, go say that on a man's channel. This ain't Tinder, do face. Do face. Okay. Just be consistent. Routine helps autistic kids. Yes, H and 007. Can you please give me advice? My 5-year-old nonverbal autistic son. Um, I'll email you, Kevin. It might take me a few days. If I don't do it like tomorrow, just give me a few days, okay, Kevin? But and please forgive me if I write you like a shit ton, but his mom took off and I'm doing my best. Oh, Kevin, I'm sorry to hear that. It's very stressful. Um, well, are you asking if my son's an Aries or a Taurus? I'm an Aries. I don't know. I should know. Actually, I think he's an Aries too. Yeah. I'm not that into horoscopes, and I always tell myself I'm going to learn more about it. Because it does seem to like there does seem to be a lot of truth, right? And I know when I did me and my husband's like and it was like crazy how it was Moonshiner. Good night, Moonshiner. Love you. Maybe you can be with Kevin and help raise his son. I'm married, but I would love to be a part of helping communities, like, there's so many autistic people, we need communities for them, we need places for them to live safely, and that's something that I do worry a lot about. I just think, is it, like, the end of the world, so it's not really gonna matter that much? But, like, people don't talk enough about how many autistic people there are and how much they need help, and how difficult that can be for their caretakers sometimes, so there's a book called The Zodiac and the Salts of Salvation. Basically, there's a call, salt, nerve tissue connected to each zodiac sign. That's super interesting. I need to look into that. I have heard of that. Okay, Kevin, I'll get you that $10,000 you lent me back to you soon. Okay. And basically, this doctor thinks that we are deficient in the three signs we aren't gestation in our mom. Okay. Oh my gosh, that's so interesting. Yeah, I'm open to anything. I really do think, just as goofy as it sounds, like I was born where there was a lot of limestone. I like limestone. I think there's something to that. Okay, you need to go. Once you start talking about how much you like limestone, it's how I knew your son must have been an Aries. Oh, that's really, or Taurus. That's really interesting, Mike. I'm excited to look into that. Yeah, I've got like so many edited things in the works, and I've been doing this for months now. I'm like, I need to get on a schedule where it's like at least 2 videos a week and then like 2 lives a week. And I know it's awful. I can hold down a job and do a schedule for a job, but like it's just so hard to do it. What if I told you what you put in your subconscious, you will become? Think about it. Oh, Trillett's vibe. I'm all about that. I did hypnobabies with our last birth, and like I was in pain during the labor. But I'm telling you, when the baby came out, I felt nothing. And it was because of the visualization techniques and the written. See, I need to go to bed. I said written manifestations. That's not right. You know, you say this mantras isn't the word I'm looking for. Upper jaw is Aries, lower jaw is Taurus. Interesting. I like rock. Exactly. There's something about like limestone cliffs make me feel really good. And for the rest of my life, I'm not going to be ashamed to like express that. Subconscious is not proven science. Oh, right, Rogers. Just like most of the space in the atmosphere is dark matter, and most of our genome is junk DNA because they just don't know what the fuck it is. So they say it's nothing or it's not been proven. And I know I'm being a little too much. Yeah, you homestead in Kentucky, that's cool. It's a humid state, but it has good land, especially in the east. Gorndorf, we're in the central part. Yeah, you're right. Some beautiful farmland. You know, it's a hit or some is too rocky, but beautiful, beautiful farmland around here. And yeah, you're right. Humidity isn't great for fruit, but other than that, you can grow like everything. And you can grow fruit, but I'm just saying, fruit trees don't do great here. Mike, I'm so glad you subscribed. I had fun talking to you. Thank you. Just don't leave me if I say if you stayed and subscribed after this live, you probably won't leave me after I say something you don't like, because everybody's welcome. They're goddamn minerals, Marie Christopher said. I don't know what that's from, but that's funny. Dark matter isn't proven. Right, Ryan Rogers. I'm just saying that's what like they slap that on things when they don't know what it is. Hi, Envy. There are beautiful limestone cliffs in Bulgaria. Oh, I'm sure, Chris. I think the beauty in Europe is unrivaled, you know. Like our country can be beautiful, but there's more beautiful things in Europe, but I'm never going to go there because I don't like to fly. I've had a lot of plane dreams, a lot of dreams that I'm crashing in a plane. So much so that like I can't bring myself to ever get on a plane again. And I've been on a lot of planes. We don't live on a spinning water ball. Ryan's one of those. Yeah, and just how fast show was nothing before and unimportant, didn't have a function or a purpose. Right, Mike? Right. Exactly. Your sleeves are too long. Yeah, this is a man shirt. This is a Hollister shirt our neighbor gave us, for the boys in the family, and it ended up being like, it's a good brand. This is a cozy shirt. Anyways. Dark matter is most likely the aether that they got rid of. I don't know if I'm saying that right. Ryan, it's better to believe yourself and say those positive affirmations, have that confidence, and then put the 110% effort every day. Affirmations, that's the word I was looking for. If you say to yourself otherwise, you will create a mental block in your mind. I just feel that is wholeheartedly the truth. I agree with you completely. So yeah, I know I can be negative, and that's why I try to like whenever I do bring up a negative topic, I'm like, it's all about like learning and processing. It's not like to sit and like be like, the world is run by pedophiles. Oh my God, where do we live? This is so awful. Because you could sit there and spin your wheels on stuff like that, you know? I already Oh, here we go. Well, this is a good time to go. Costco is the shit, Adam. Costco, yes. I mean, I haven't shopped there in a few years, but I always loved them. I have a lot of dreams that someone keeps trying to break into my house. Terrifying. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that, agent. Yeah, when you have reoccurring nightmares, that's no fun. Say positive affirmations about becoming a billionaire. I doubt very much will happen. Yeah, Ryan, but the key is on top of you have to feel like you're already that billionaire and feel the gratitude you would if you say thank you for this $1 billion. Thank you for the blessings of never having to worry about anything again in my life. And you really feel that gratitude. That's what a lot of people miss about the manifestation. Okay, guys, I'm so wired. I'm gonna take a shower and use this really fancy shampoo my sister got me for Christmas. And then I'm gonna go to bed and fall asleep because usually I only get like 4 hours of sleep a night, anyways. And who are you thanking? Well, whoever you believe you should be thanking, Ryan. That's the answer to that. I believe that God is the source we're all connected to, we all come from, we all go back to. I don't know what you believe. Oh, the places he can only hide in other people's minds. High power. Mine said, okay. I love you guys. I really do have to pull myself away. It was fun talking to you guys. I've been having affirmations to be 6'3" since I was 15. Now 10 years later, I can confirm it didn't work. Agent, you're silly. Okay, I'm gonna say the story. There's the coolest story. This woman is legit. She owns a music producing movie producer something. This woman wrote down numbers on a piece of paper and slept on them under her pillow and thought a lot about these numbers, winning the lottery, and then she let it go. That's also part of it. You act like it, but at the same time, you have to let it go at a certain point, what you're hoping for. And then she won the lottery. And she's one of the more successful people who took her earnings and made a career out of it and is very successful right now. I forget her name, but it was this black woman. Like, I'm sure I could find that story. So I always think about that. Greg, I'm going to heaven. Everyone believes me. You thank yourself. You brought yourself to that point. There's opportunity only when you're outside looking for it. The more times you put yourself where the opportunity is and capitalize on it. Oh, Trill, I like that. That's a good answer. Yeah, you don't have to say thank you, God. You can just say thank you. And just like that gratitude, that feeling of gratitude is what will help you attract things. And real life is the acceptance of limitations and being okay with that. Aren't we all limited? Yes, Bob. Yes. Okay, love you guys. I mean it. And I'm sorry. Uh, I'm sorry if I was too rude about Trump supporters. I love you no matter what. Good night.